held off UConn to win its first men's hoops national championship since 1989. Final score 69-63. Michigan and Duke are early favorites for the title in 2027. The Mariners dropped their first of a 3-game series against the Rangers. The only good news here was Cal Raleigh getting his first home run of the season. Otherwise, bats went cold. Game 2 today at 5:05 p.m. George Kirby on the mound. Pre-game show starts at 4 p.m. right here on Seattle Sports.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time. From the Quantum Fiber Studio,
this is Bump Stacy
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now. Well, I've got good news to start the show, which is something you all already knew. Cal Raleigh got his first home run of the season. We were getting so many questions all week long, and last week, understandably, what's going on with Cal? And for that matter, what's going on with Julio? What's going on with Josh? What's going on with your big bats? No one likes seeing this. So, Bump, yesterday, when we're watching, and, it's the start of the game, great 12-pitch AB, great battle between DeGrom and Cal, and you're thinking, like, man, ends with a home run. Things are fixed. This is where they start to heat up. This is where the offense figures it out. Now, that was the only hit for a long while. The bats otherwise went cold. So I do think that part of it is good. Again, here's a home run.
11 pitch at bat. Next offer, swing and a drive. Deep to right field. There she goes. Goodbye, baseball. Number 1 for Cal Raleigh. He hit 60 bombs last year. There's number 1, and that was on pitch, I believe, number 12 off of Jake DeGrom. Holy smoke, straightaway right field. A tremendous at-bat for Cal Raleigh, and the Mariners have a 1-0 lead here in the top of the first inning, and he got it all. What an at-bat off of Jacob DeGrom.
It was a tremendous AB. Unfortunately, still a pretty slow day for the offense. Was that your primary takeaway from this one? Was there something you liked?
Of course, I like Cal going yard and making DeGrom work for that, man. Whenever you can make some contact against that young man, things are looking good. And that would have been a bomb in all ballparks, if you were wondering, Stacy. Put him anywhere. That ball was out of there. But, yeah, it's seeing Cal and then Logan as well. Got himself out of a jam or two, but he looked good. Typically, he hasn't been the greatest on the road. At least last year, he wasn't the greatest on the road. Defensive play by Cole Young looked good again. It seems like every other game he's making a play that makes me, all right, notice the young man at second base. I still feel like the game hasn't been clean, though. Like the ball out there to Rosarena. Like, that was the first time I looked at him. I go, man, he did not look athletic right there. Like, he did not look comfortable in that position. Naylor throwing the ball in the dirt, going to second and getting into the outfield. Thankfully, they didn't score on that play. But they're just little things to where it just ain't clicking yet. And I want to go back and make sure my eyes weren't deceiving me, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm looking at I feel like there have been some hard-hit baseballs, but they've just been unlucky. Cal, his exit velo was 107. He's good there. You got Julio had a exit velo 113 as a line out. Naylor had one of 100 fly out. Randy had one of 105 ground out, then 103 ground out. JP 105, that's a double there. So there are some moments where they're making okay contact, but it's just not consistent right now. But the pitching has been so on point that you feel like you're going to have a chance eventually once these guys get going. So, yes, it has been a slow start, but thank you, Cal, for getting the monkey off your back there, and Logan for looking pretty good.
Speaking of Logan, he's confident in the offense.
Yeah, it's such a long year, and you look at the names and the talent we have, like over 162 games, things always even out to what we're capable of. So there's nothing to worry about. I think we're going to hit our stride, and we saw in the second half, like the offense was probably carrying us last year at the end and in the playoffs. So I feel really good about where we're at, and as a team, I don't think there's a weakness.
And here's Cal on the slow start offensively.
Yeah, you just got to take care of those little things. I mean, I think, it kind of starts with the offense, kind of slow start there the first 2 games in LA. Same thing here today. So, we just got to create some traffic. You got to even when you're not hitting the ball per se like you want to, you got to be able to, do the little things right, steal bags, get runners over, grind out at bats, find some free bases here and there, and we're just not doing that. So to me, that's just kind of where it starts, and usually that's kind of what gets the rally going. It's not not necessarily the hit, but the little things like taking the extra base, stealing a bag, doing something like that.
Now, our job in the first 15 minutes of today's show here, with help from listeners, of course, with their theories. You can text in 866-979-3776. Isn't to say something like, hey, you got to get more base runners. Yeah, of course. You got to get more runs. Absolutely. But what's going on? What are we seeing? And importantly, what are experts seeing? So if we're looking at the specifics here, Bump, your gut to start looking at hard hit percentage and like, are guys squaring it up? Is the swing speed right? That's a pretty good place to start because it's where MLB.com's Mike Petriello looked at. And according to Mike, the Mariners have the biggest drop-off in hard hit percentage from 2025 to 2026 with a loss 8.5% drop-off in hard hit percentage. And here's what's telling to me, Bump. The next closest team, the Mets. Now, if you're someone who is completely written off the WBC as having any impact at all, and you're like, I'm so tired of this theory, then you didn't read anything into that. However, I'm not that person. I think the WBC has absolutely been a factor, and those two teams have by far the most participants in the WBC.
That's a great point. Yeah, but there are some people who are going to say that's an excuse when, let me assure you that athletes have their routines. I remember I was getting ready for a CFL season, and my prep wasn't like it was for the NFL. I go to training camp for the CFL, and the hammy's hurting. I never hurt my hammy, right? The hammy's hurting. Everything's filled. My timing's off. I don't feel strong coming out of my routes because my offseason was just off a little bit. That's how it affected a football player, where it is just sheer athleticism. In a game where it is nothing but skill, you need those reps. And you're right, these two teams have the most representatives there. But we also feel like eventually they're gonna figure this out. This is their spring training. This first, 10, 11 games, all right? This is your spring training, and we're starting to see Kyle get it, man. When you go a 12-pitch at bat with DeGrom, right, you're seeing some stuff. You're battling out there, and I think that's positive for these guys to see. I love Kyle mentioning, we got to get runners over. Luke getting caught stealing a second. That affects the game. You had no runners in scoring position. You're desperate. When you're not hitting the ball like that, you get guys on. You got to find ways to move the runners over, and they're just not doing that right now. But I'm still optimistic because the pitching, it will keep you. You lost 2-1.
Yeah.
You lost 2-1. You had 2 hits.
Right. I think I'd much rather start the season with the pitching looking excellent and being healthy, and then just assuming that the offense will heat up, because it's not weird to have offense, particularly for Seattle. I know they're not in Seattle right now. Be a little cool, no pun intended, to start the year. I'll tell you what I don't think it is. I think it's a lack of reps. I don't think it's pressure. I had someone text in and say, maybe it's the pressure of being excellent that's messing everything up. And while I initially was entertaining that theory and did kind of buy into it, I think I've done a 180 and I'm now brushing it off going, I don't think that's it. And it's in part because I might, as someone born and raised here, feel a kind of pressure, sometimes like of course this would happen, or like this is so new for me place with the Mariners. Not someone who was born in 2000 who's been with this team for maybe 4 seasons and who last year was in the ALCS. You know what I mean? Like, I think that the players on this team, not only did many of them not even grow up watching Mariners baseball or feeling that, the nervousness and the pressure or fear that a lot of fans have, but also they were just in the ALCS. They were in the ALDS. They were in an ALDS Game 5 that went, how many innings, guys? 16, 15?
15.
15, thank you. That's a lot of pressure. And, yeah, I get that they haven't been there a million times before. They've never been to a World Series. But this is not a team looking to break a playoff drought right now, nor are these players unfamiliar with what the playoffs feel like.
Yeah, but to me, it's a different kind of pressure. It's expectations, right? Preseason type talk. When we've had people text in too, they're tired of seeing all these lists and all that stuff with the Mariners being second or third best team in the league. And to think that these dudes don't read that or know that people are expecting them to go far,
Sure.
I think they are. And I think that I don't think it consumes them, but I think they go out there with a different expectation. I think last year was kind of like, we got a good team, let's just see what happens. Whereas this year, everyone's saying they're the ones that could represent the AL. Everyone is different. To say, I think, for me to say that everyone feels that, no. But
you think it's a factor for some guys?
I think some guys, it does. I think a guy like, say, Cole Young is playing his butt off, right? Say a guy like him, a young guy, opening day starter, it's a different type of pressure for him. He's out there trying to keep his job, right? A guy like Donovan, I'm new to the team. I think that there's different levels to this. I don't think it consumes them, but I think that this is a different Mariners team because of what they did last year. So people are just expecting you to play better ball. And right now, they're just not playing a great ball. But, Curtis pointed it out a few days ago. This is typically how they start their season for the past 7 seasons.
Yeah.
They just start slow. They're a slow starting team no matter who is wearing the uniform. This is just something that this team deals with.
I think pressure can be a factor. But I don't know. I think back to asking Adam Jude yesterday. So, take Cal, right? And I know that he just had a really good AB and had that home run, but let's pretend that didn't happen, and we're still having the conversations we were having yesterday about Cal. Cal's bat speed is not, especially fast, but, much higher than his hard hit percentage. So he is swinging and not squaring it up. Now, could that be swinging at everything because he's feeling pressure to hit a bunch of home runs and lead this team to a World Series? Or could it be swinging at things because he hasn't quite ironed out a swing or a plan and didn't quite get the prep? You know what I mean? What if it has nothing to do with that? And I am just thinking back to that conversation with Adam Jude yesterday of being hey, Cal, is he someone who feels pressure or is he someone who needs time to adjust? And he said, I tend to think it's the latter. Yeah, everyone might feel pressure. I just don't think it's the primary factor. I disagree with it, and maybe I'll be proven wrong. I tend to disagree right now with listeners who think the problem with this team is that they can't cope with pressure. I don't think that's it, even though you do see hacks, and you do see kind of dude, you're swinging out of your shoes right now. Slow down. Not slow down, keep the bat speed going, but, have some smarter approaches here.
I don't think you're completely wrong, but you tell me the last time an athlete spoke to a writer, a reporter, anybody, and said, I just felt that pressure,
really
man.
Feeling it.
I just felt the pressure.
Yeah.
They'll never admit it.
I don't want to let you guys
They'll never
down.
admit it. Now, I don't think Kyle is overwhelmed, oh my God, so much pressure. But just listen to you talk. I was trying to go back and think when's the last time I heard an athlete say,
sure,
yeah, it's too much pressure out there for us. No, we're not built that way. At least not, especially not at this level.
But think of that, right? You're not built that way.
No.
Cal and Julio and Naylor handle pressure as people differently than I do.
They feel it. It's just the way they handle it.
Yeah.
There's no way they don't feel, but it's just the way they handle it.
To get to this level, you have to be so much better at handling pressure than the average person.
For sure.
I don't even want to apply how I feel about the expectations facing the Mariners to how these people, because it's when I talk to me and you. I just think even just regular things, you are far more calm and collected because you have to have that as a personality trait to succeed as an athlete.
Yeah.
Actually succeed.
Pressure and pressing. I could see them pressing.
They're
being
definitely pressing.
I gotta.
Yeah.
They're counting on me.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
This is I'm Cal. I'm Julio. They're counting on me. But then you get into this zone, the flow state. I can't wait till I see it with this team because when this team is in the flow state, when Julio is doing little things like beating out a ground ball to the shortstop and someone's driving him over to third base and we're stealing and Cal's back there throwing guys out. The flow state is beautiful with this team, and they just haven't been able to get there yet. But with reps, the flow state becomes a bit more attainable. And, again, I'll go back to how I started this thing. As long as the pitching is doing what they're doing right now, I think they're going to be all right.
And for that matter, again, some better defense, and we're talking about a slightly different start to the season.
Yeah.
And it's not just, if this game would have had some better defense, but you've had some sloppy play in a couple games now where you're man, you should be better than this.
Yeah.
You don't have to be elite defensively, but you should be better than this. You're a fairly young, athletic team, especially down the middle. Come on.
Yeah. Clean it up.
Yeah. You don't have, again, like I said, you don't have Joe Adell robbing 3 home runs. We're talking about, 2? Maybe 3 extra wins here. That's not making an excuse. It's just saying that they've been so close. frustrating, deeply frustrating given expectations, but also fairly close. I can't quite nail down what's happening.
You know what it is. It is not hitting that dang ball.
Well, I think it's just I have been completely sold on the idea that it's a lack of reps and a lack of time for some of these guys.
Yeah, they'll get going.
And it doesn't mean you can't and shouldn't be playing the WBC. It's an honor for a lot of people and a kind of like a lifetime opportunity. But I don't know, man. Looking at this chart from Petriello and seeing the Mariners and Mets right there next to each other. And by the way, quite a ways ahead of other teams, right? Like the average change for teams that have dipped in hard hit percentage is like between 4 and 5%. Mariners and Mets between 8 and 9%. So I don't know. That doesn't feel an accident.
Digest the numbers how you wish.
Let's get to headline rewrites.
Extra, extra, Headline rewrites.
We must make headlines.
The real story behind the headlines in today's news.
Powered by Bay Alarm Security Services.
With Bump and Stacy.
Headline number 1, Michigan took home their second national championship last night with a 69-63 win over UConn. Here's how the final call sounded.
Ball knocked around, flung down the floor. Caravan trying to track it down, and he will. And it's over. Hail to the champions. Hail to Michigan. For the first time in 37 years, the Wolverines win the national title.
What's the real headline?
Congratulations to the Wolverines, who ended their NCAA championship drought of 26 months. Look, I know that men's hoops has been looking for that title since, 89, 90?
89, yeah.
89, thank you. But, man, Michigan.
Spoiled
I'm so
student
sick
body.
Of you. So sick of you.
Imagine being a freshman that first year when Michigan won the national championship, and now you get to witness this.
And you got 2.
Yeah. And big ups to my dad, Mark Bumpus. He is a huge Michigan fan. I talked to him before the game, after the game. He was excited. He's from Michigan, grew up in Detroit, so big ups to Pops over there. This game was interesting, man, because it wasn't a very clean game. One team shot like 31%, the other team 38% from the field. Three-pointer was like 15 to 21%. And Michigan, man, this is the new NCAA. Michigan had 5 starters, first time playing together, all transferred from different schools. Like this is just what it is, and they found a way to get her done. What I didn't like about UConn, they were not finishing around the hoop at all, man. It was frustrating. I'm watching the game. I went to this place in Everett called TAP. There's a cool spot, TVs everywhere, and I was frustrated watching them because I wanted UConn to get it done so bad. But big ups to Michigan. But you had a problem with their celebration.
There was Curtis did.
I mean, it looked like they had just won a regular season conference game. They were high-fiving afterwards. They weren't, like, crying or anything. They weren't dogpiling.
Don't love each other.
Very muted.
Yeah.
Don't love each other.
Bump, I thought it was
right.
interesting you pointed out how their starting 5 is all freshmen. It's kind of the exact opposite of Michigan's most famous team, the Fab Five, all freshmen, all original guys from Michigan's program. Weird how they were able to piece it together in the last couple of years with all transfers compiling up their starting 5. But yeah, they were a machine. They were a monster.
Yeah, there's kind of this thing that speaks to like you can assemble a team and have a quote quick turnaround if you're a school that can get those transfers and get those guys in there. And by the way, there's still that, to your point, Curtis, emotional element missing that you kind of want to see.
They don't know each other like that.
No.
Me and my boys at Wazoo, all the stuff we've been through together, if we win anything, we're hugging, celebrating, because you blood, sweat, and tears, and it's just different. It's watered down. It takes college sports was supposed to be about the joy, right? The pure joy of representing your university. Now it's different. Guys are getting paid. I think they should get paid. But I was with Curtis. I'm watching them, and I'm like, them dudes don't rock with each other like that. You've accomplished something together, but the journey has been so short that it just doesn't hit the same when you win.
Well,
and they're
what's
probably
going to
enter the portal.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're going to enter the portal, or guys are going to enter the draft, or whatever it is. And it's like, okay, so that team was together for that. And then you're like mercenaries being hired out to like help teams win championships, which is really cool when it's your school and that happens, right? Like if Washington would have beat Michigan and then everyone would have left, it would have been a little easier for me to sit with and be like, well, that national title was really cool. But yeah, it's just a weird byproduct. The product itself still great. UConn made it interesting late.
It did.
I mean, they kept it closer than I thought, but they also made it interesting. Just some missed opportunities there. That breakaway, I thought for sure, like, this is when it turns around. This is when it happens.
Hey, Big Ten runs this. Big Ten runs college sports.
Headline rewrites.
Headline number 2, Myles Garrett will not be attending the Browns offseason program. What's the real headline?
Oh, Myles Garrett trade watch is so back. If you thought you were sick of it, guess what? Get used to it. Get ready to learn Myles Garrett, buddy.
Do you remember Cleveland's training staff grade?
No.
So I wonder if he's like, I'm just going to do my own thing. I got all this money. I got my own facility. I got my own team. I'm just going to get right. I'll see you guys when it's really time to go.
Or it could be a little bit of like, if you guys check out during the regular season, I'm going to go ahead and check out during voluntary workouts.
Yeah. And he's Myles Garrett, man.
Doesn't need it.
You don't need that.
But when you're a team that is desperate to win, you want buy-in. The Seahawks just won a Super Bowl. I'd feel a way about guys missing out on workouts.
It's a culture thing, and clearly he doesn't see the benefit in going to this type of thing. Who knows what his offseason is like? Maybe he's got some business stuff lined up. I don't know. I've been to training camps or voluntary workouts where the big dogs wasn't there. My teams also weren't that good, so maybe that has something to do with it.
Headline rewrites.
Headline number 3, Washington State has reportedly named a new athletic director. John Canzano says they are promoting interim AD John Harlow to the full-time job. What's the real headline?
He's already submitted his resume to a Big Ten school.
Don't do that.
It's a stepping stone.
Don't do that. Big ups to John, man. This is a great dude. I've known him for a few years now, man. He's been in the program for a lot. He helped fundraise about $10 million for the Athletics Fan Experience Project. He's a cool, man. So I think this is the right hire. The only thing is, this is what happened last time. Is that an intern hired and then we fired her. I don't think this is going to be the case with John. He's locked in. Congratulations. Go Cougs.
Last minute here before we go to the latest from Jeff Passan. I just want to congratulate you.
Who?
You.
What?
Your first time in your life. Tell listeners what you did.
Yeah, so yesterday I was at TAP watching the game, and there was a grilled cheese sandwich on the menu with some tomato soup, right?
And guess
tomato soup, right?
Yeah, and guess who'd never had that before in his
Never
entire
had it
life?
before. I had grilled cheese before, but not with the soup.
And so Curtis and I kept telling you, you got to try it. Just do it one time.
So you guys gassed it up, and it did not disappoint.
And then did you order a second?
And I ordered another one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is probably how you felt when you wore sunglasses for the first time.
Exactly. I didn't think I can pull it off, but
yeah.
Look at me now.
No, you went your childhood without wearing sunglasses because you were in California, Los Angeles, because you were worried you couldn't pull it off. And then you realized, like, oh, this is a perfect fit for me. And now that's how you feel about grilled cheese and tomato soup, where you're like, oh, this is actually great.
I'm going to go back there just for that same one.
Wow.
Something about the sauce. Because I would assume that obviously grilled cheese are a little different wherever you go. But the sauce, man, like.
The soup?
The soup, sorry. I don't want to.
Don't get it in tomato sauce?
Tomato sauce. I don't want to have a bad experience somewhere else.
Is it on your Mount Rushmore?
Nah, not my Mount Rushmore.
Okay, but is it up on a list of like, this is a thing I'm going to crave?
Something I'm going to do again for sure.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's big. That's big.
I grew up.
You're listening to Bump and Stacy on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app. Coming up next, the latest from Jeff Passan.
Brock and Salk, morning 6 to 10.
There's no one reason why they're 4-6 other than they're not hitting. I mean, this is a pretty familiar story. Heading into the game yesterday, they were 28th in batting average. They only had 8 home runs, which have mostly come in bunches. They were 25th in OPS.
I'd be hard-pressed to find any other answer than that.
The expectations, I do think, are a problem.
And all the expectations and all that comes with it, that's a new place to live.
Only on Seattle Sports, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
I saw her texting, coming up to a stop sign, and so I saw the accident coming, and she T-boned us.
In the blink of an eye, Crystal's life changed when she suffered a severe spinal injury.
The pain was something I had never experienced before in my neck. I got massage therapy. I saw a chiropractor. I was prescribed muscle relaxers so I could sleep. I got depressed. Nothing was relieving the pain.
Drugs, sleepless nights, and depression. Sound familiar? I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist. At Sound Pain Solutions, our treatments include high-dose laser combined with spinal decompression and other comprehensive therapies to rehabilitate damaged discs. We use treatments that are non-surgical, FDA-cleared, drug and pain-free.
I was able to get off my pain medicines, and I was able to sleep through the night, and that was what I was desperate for.
To learn if you're a candidate for our treatment, call us. Sound Pain Solutions, 855-996-0025 or click soundpainsolutions.com.
Opened in 1933, our family is still here, doing the right thing for your family.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
Your new home for Tesla, EV, and hybrid maintenance is A&M Auto Repair in Bellevue with dealer-level diagnostics, electrical, mechanical, and suspension repairs. Find A&M Auto Repair in Bellevue online at myevpros.com or 425-96-EV-FIX. For over 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto Repair has been the one locals trust for honest pricing, expert service, and guaranteed repairs. This dedication has earned them a Carfax Preferred designation. At Bucky's, every customer gets detailed Carfax updates, timely service reminders, and a full service history, all at your fingertips. With 16 family-owned locations, no appointment needed, and easy financing, Bucky's makes auto care simple. Visit Bucky's.com today and drive with confidence. Bucky's.com.
Free consultations, no fee guarantees, 5-star reviews. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains the importance of going beyond these familiar offerings.
Accident victims want an attorney, Tom, that satisfies their needs. Someone who handles those needs with the highest degree of care. Pendergast Law offers the no-fee guarantees and free consultations, but these only scratch the surface.
Okay, explain more.
We make sure that every member of our team is genuinely passionate about helping others. Customer service and communication are our top priority. It's how we take care of our clients so they always feel one step ahead of the insurance companies. Our strong reputation for high standards provides comfort and confidence when it's needed most.
Pendergast Law offers the free consultations, the no-fee guarantees, and, of course, they are 5-star rated. But what really makes them different is their genuine passion for helping others. I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
That's PendergastLaw.com.
Collectors, Front Row Car Show is returning to Tacoma. Join us at the Greater Tacoma Convention Center on April 11th and 12th. 480 tables. Baseball, football, basketball, and hockey cards. Plus collectibles such as Pokemon, Marvel, Star Wars, and comic books. CGC, JSA, and Beckett will be there. So bring your cards, comics, and autographs to sell, trade, or get them graded. Hundreds of vendors, thousands of dollars in free prizes. Don't miss it. Front Row Car Show, Greater Tacoma Convention Center, Saturday and Sunday, April 11th and 12th, 11 to 5. For more info, go to FrontRowCarShow.com. That's FrontRowCarShow.com.
Mariners and Rangers tonight in Arlington. First pitch at 5:05. Pre-game at 4. Hear every pitch live for free on the Seattle Sports app.
Hear that? Sounds like simple. Valvoline Instant Oil Change simple. No appointments. About 15 minutes to change your oil. Then out the door and back to life.
Yeah, honey, on my way.
Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Expert service doesn't need to be overcomplicated.
Spring is here, Seattle, and now is the smartest time to replace your roof. Trust your neighbors at 3 Tree Roofing, a local, family-owned company that knows how to roof in Washington weather year-round. Schedule your free estimate today at 3treeroofing.com to take advantage of spring pricing, shorter wait times, and get $500 off your new roof before the summer rush hits. Our experts come to you, build a clear plan, and give you an estimate that same day. No surprises and no high-pressure sales tactics. 3 Tree Roofing, your Puget Sound roofing experts.
Hey, did you hear about that multi-billion-dollar Roundup settlement?
Yeah, it impacts people who are exposed to weed killers at work or at home, even if you just used it in your own yard. Lawsuits claim it causes non-Hodgkin lymphoma, a blood cancer.
But we're not sick, so that doesn't affect us.
But it does. This cancer can take 10 to 15 years to show up.
That's a long time after exposure.
It is, and that's why the settlement is paying claims for up to 21 years. If you get sick, even years from now, you could get $6,000 to $165,000 or more as part of this settlement.
So what's the catch?
If you stay in, you give up the right to sue them later.
Learn more at weedkillerclass.com or call 1-888-403-8201. If you or a loved one has or had non-Hodgkin lymphoma, even if they've passed, you must register for benefits. That's weedkillerclass.com. 1-888-403-8201. Paid for by the Roundup Settlement.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bump and Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
What Jeff Passan had to say about the Mariners' slow start. Here's what he said to Brock and Salk.
No, not really. I mean, they're not hitting right now. I don't know if they have the worst batting average in the big leagues, but it's got to be close there. And I know batting average is batting average, and the fact that they're walking as much as they are is good. The fact that they're striking out as much as they are is not so good. But I think it's just a matter of time.
I feel slightly better that one of the most prominent voices in baseball is like, yeah, I don't really know either.
I don't know what's going on.
Beats me.
And he's right. They do have the worst batting average in MLB. So that's when I ignore that. I'm like, it's not about that. It's about
I tried to tell myself yesterday, like, well, the Red Sox have 2 wins. The Blue Jays got swept by the White Sox. Everyone's had some weirdness.
Yeah.
Not everyone, I should say. The Yankees have looked great to start. Dodgers have been fine.
Yeah, the ones who spend the most money get that head start. That's why this slow start can be concerning, because there are teams that are supposed to hit the ground running doing exactly that, and you're looking at the Mariners and trying not to panic.
Mm-hmm. He said they need to be better offensively, simply put.
Looking right now at the numbers of the guys who are playing every day, Julio Rodriguez not having an extra base hit 11 games into the season, not ideal. Cal Raleigh only hitting his first home run last night and striking out 43% of the time. Not ideal either. And for the good things that we've seen this year, Brendan Donovan has been awesome and an excellent fit for this team. And Cole Young's emergence has been great, and the power growing has been nice. But yeah, the bats have just straight up disappeared since that first series. And this team needs to be better offensively. Simple as that.
God, I love the way Jeff talks about it's like a passive aggressiveness that like drips from him sometimes. Like,
good for the Seattle Mariners.
Can we hear it one more time, Matt?
Good for the Seattle Mariners.
I want to play that. I need to find a segment. I'm going to create something that we can use that for.
Yeah,
Yes, I saw you, Matt, say no, we don't.
We really don't. We have so many segments that just involve me playing the same piece of audio over and over again.
Now, the good news is Passan truly believes it's only a matter of time for Cal and Julio.
I think it's going to be a matter of time. I don't think Cal Raleigh is going to finish the season hitting 140-something. I don't think Julio Rodriguez is going to finish the season hitting 140-something. J.P. Crawford's going to get on track. Josh Naylor is going to be better. But, they just have not hit at all. And for 10, 11 games that, you accept it. Once we get to 25 or 30, then that starts being problematic, and you've dug yourself a hole that's really difficult to get out of. Fortunately, they're in the American League West.
Bump, that last part feels pretty important. Now, granted, they just lost a series to an AL West team and just dropped the first game of a 3-game series to another AL West team, and then they're going to come back here to Seattle and play a third AL West team. So,
yeah,
easier said than done. But I think that Jeff is still right, and that they're not in the AL East right now.
Yeah, this isn't a division that where, at least not right now. You never know. Things could change. But where teams are just going to jump out in front of you and they're going to be hard to catch. So once upon a time there was, where the Astros would jump out 10 games on you. The Rangers jumped out a couple years ago. These teams just aren't built like that anymore. The A's, a team that everyone's calling sneaky, they're at the bottom of the division right now. So, yeah, luckily you're in a division where things should be pretty tight for the next week or so.
Well,
at least.
Talk about a team that could surprise. You mentioned them, the Rangers.
And then out west, I know the Astros got off to a hot start in their hitting, but they've also given up, I think, the most runs in the American League. The Angels, I get that they're 6-5 right now. I'm not buying it. The Rangers, I think the Rangers might actually be the biggest threat to the Mariners in the division, and even they're 500. So right now, the American League looks like a big old pile of mediocrity. And that's a little surprising because, frankly, I thought that was going to be more the line of the National League, except for the Dodgers.
Yeah, before anyone starts hitting the panic button, he's right about Houston. They're 28th in team ERA. By the way, the Mariners are 4th. I know we're frustrated with the lack of offense, especially consistent hitting and especially from the big bats. But like Bump said, the pitching has been phenomenal.
It has been. I mean, and they're still +2 when it comes to run differential, too. And you're 4-7. That means games are close. You're not getting blown out. I think there was one game when they lost by, 6 runs or something like that. But for the most part, you're hanging around there. And that's all I want this team to do at this point is hang around and check a few boxes on the way. Julio, get an extra base hit. Naylor, send a couple through the gap like you typically do and drive a couple in. Luke Raley, just be the firecracker that you are and make some of these weird-looking plays that gets the team going.
He's a weird runner. He's a weird fielder. I love that guy.
I love it. He's an odd one, but I like it.
A non-athletic professional athlete.
Nah, he's athletic. Don't do my man like that.
He's clearly athletic because he's doing a job that 0.01% of people are qualified to do.
It's just unorthodox.
It's unorthodox.
Yeah.
And I really, as a non-athletic person myself, or a non-land athlete, thank you, a non-land athlete, I really appreciate just the way his body moves.
The awkwardness of it.
And he's a Survivor fan, so Curtis and I are big fans of Luke.
Yeah,
Raley.
It's great.
Give me more Luke.
Season 50. We're at the merge already.
God, I'd love to know what he thinks about this
Had
season
a triple
so far.
vote off last week? That
After
was
a
insane.
double elimination.
Man.
We need to get a hold of Luke.
Yeah. Get him on the show.
This is an emergency. No, it's I thought it was interesting to hear him point to Texas as if there is a team you're kind of watching for, it's them. You're in the middle of a series against them right now. So pretty perfect timing to watch them especially closely. And I get why he's saying it with the pitching they have.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we saw a duel last night with Logan and DeGrom on the mound. So, yeah, this is but most importantly, Cal, now you can relax, dog. Now you can just relax. It's all going to flow for you now. Just be sharp defensively and have that calm, intense demeanor that you have, and hopefully this will get this team rolling because I think they needed to see that too. When you have your ballers doing baller things, everyone else can kind of relax or they get excited about it. So I think it's important that Cal has some success. Now I'm looking for Julio to have his moment.
I am not making an excuse for bad offense. I am not. Because I think with high expectations, you should be meeting those expectations, right? Like that, sorry, you don't get to be horrible for a few months and then go, but we're supposed to be great, so it'll be fine. I completely understand people being frustrated, but I do think sometimes it's good to take a step back, especially to look at other divisions and see what other teams are doing and go, oh, the Marlins are in first place. Oh, wait, it's kind of weird.
It's interesting seeing the Mariners and the Reds. They've had very similar seasons so far, just in terms of difficult time scoring runs, but good pitching. The difference is the Reds are 7-3 and the Mariners are 4-7. So when I say it's early, that's what I mean, that these small samples, they really do not indicate a whole lot about the trajectory of a team. But it's some of those little things that you can take away that maybe a couple months down the road you saw the signs of early on in the season that it turned out are going to be true in a good way or maybe a not so good way.
So, yeah, don't forget to look around and see what other teams are doing. And him mentioning, the Mariners and Reds, really similar starts, but Cincinnati's 7-3. These have been close games, too.
Yeah, they've been close.
Could have gone another way.
That's all good. You're not drowning, right? You're just waiting, right? Just wait there until you catch a wave and get rolling.
Sometimes you just float on your back. That's a good thing to do, too. If you're ever lost at sea or if you find yourself in deep water, you just float on your back.
There you go. You heard it here. Yep. Stacy's water safety tips.
Yeah. Curtis and I actually have a camp for that, too.
Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the Curtis and Stacy teach people how to be more buoyant camp LLC. So it's we got a line out the door. Don't forget to download the Seattle Sports app. You can take every game with you on the go when you're out running errands at Little League practice, on a hike, on the boat, wherever. On the boat. And if you're on the boat, don't forget, if you fall in the water, you can float on your back. The Seattle Sports app travels with you. Did I mention it's free? You can enjoy every pitch of Rick Riz's final season all in one place at no cost. It's the easiest way to enjoy Seattle Mariners baseball. You're listening to Bump and Stacy on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app. Coming up, you know, like where there's smoke, there's fire kind of thing. Should we be reading into, very seriously, a name we keep hearing mocked to the Seahawks at 32, including with a new mock yet again this morning? That's next.
You can stream every pitch of every inning of every game all season long. Oh, and it's completely free.
It's a tremendous catch.
Only on the Seattle Sports app. That's right. The free Seattle Sports app puts every single Mariners game right in the palm of your hand.
On a platter, come and get it.
One app, every game. Plus the latest Mariners news, insider access, video, and podcasts.
Holy smokes, what a play.
Pretty awesome, right? Just like the Mariners.
Stacey here, and I need to tell you guys about what I did last week. So on Friday, I got to demo the Arc Sport from Arc. It's a fully electric boat that's built to be a wake boat. Carter from the demo team at Arc picked me up right on Lake Union. It was very cool. I felt like a celebrity. The first thing I noticed was how sleek it looked. I felt like I was in a luxury EV, but like on the water. The fully heated seats and touchscreen dash were my favorite features, because I'm always freezing, and again, it felt really luxurious and cool. But something tells me that people who spend a lot more time on the water are going to love the retractable tower and Arc software. But you know what else I noticed? We were the only ones on the water. Again, it was a beautiful Friday, but it's early April, and that means most people have their boats winterized. Not Arc. No winterization, no oil changes, or transmission service means significantly less maintenance for you, so you can actually take advantage of an unexpectedly sunny day. You really have to see and experience this boat for yourself. So do it. Book a demo. It's easy. They'll pick you up on Lake Washington, Lake Union, or Lake Sammamish if you can't come to them in Kirkland. Go to arcboats.com/demo, fill out the form, and you'll be on the water. Arc, you have to see it to believe it.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-791-0000. That's 800-791-0000.
Veterans and active duty service members, when your call to service ends, your mission doesn't have to. Go from GI to IT in just a few months at My Computer Career. Prepare for a high-demand career in cybersecurity, protecting people, systems, and institutions from real cyber threats. Cyber warriors are needed now. Will you answer the call? Go to mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to learn more. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP, an elite CompTIA certification partner. VA education benefits are available to those who qualify.
That sound? Yeah, that's not a good sign. Hey, it's Drew Brees, and when your car starts making noises like that, a big repair bill might be coming right at you. But with CarShield, you don't have to fear unexpected breakdowns. CarShield helps protect you from expensive auto repairs. I spent my career making tough calls, but this one is simple.
Visit carshield.com now and join the team that's helped millions of drivers save. Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at carshield.com.
Progressive knows you could have easily taken the freeway, but you took the scenic route to see a waterfall and an oddly busy boiled peanut stand. Discovering the unexpected is exactly why you bought an RV, so protect it with a bundle from Progressive. Because although you may be 3 hours behind schedule, you're 6 jars of jam richer and possibly enrolled in a butter-churning workshop. Switch to Progressive and protect your RV, boat, or motorcycle by bundling with your home or auto insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
I'm Carolyn Osorio, the host of the Shadow Girls podcast, a deep dive into the Green River Killer investigation and the only known survivor.
He got both hands on my neck. I couldn't do nothing.
Rebecca did do something. It was her tip that proved pivotal in the arrest and conviction of Gary Ridgway. Join us on April 9th for a true crime event, the behind-the-scenes story of how an imperfect witness finally got her reward. Tickets available right now at nwcave.org.
Mariners and Rangers tonight in Arlington. First pitch at 5:05. Pregame at 4. Hear every pitch live for free on the Seattle Sports app.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other, so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio, so we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
Well, what other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
And we're back. The big headline today. Your Washington Credit Union, WSECU, has done it again.
5 straight years as Forbes' best in-state credit union. That's a dynasty, Rick, like 5 straight championship rings.
Or 5 seasons hitting 400, Steve.
Holy catfish! If you want a team that wins year after year, join your Washington Credit Union, WSECU. Details at WSECU.org.
With Popeye's new $6 faves menu, you can get this 3-piece chicken, this 3-piece tenders, this chicken sandwich, or these 2 regular sides for just $6 a piece. I know you can't see what I see, but trust me, those bold Louisiana flavors look so good, you might just have to get them all. Now there's an idea.
Love that chicken from Popeyes.
Limited time at participating U.S. restaurants. Price may vary. Terms apply.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bump Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
You know how last year we kept seeing some of the same names mocked to Seattle? And I understand that the earlier you are in the draft, the easier it is to kind of project where someone's going to go. So mocking someone at 18 or so, where Seattle was drafting last year, is going to be a little easier than 32. You have no idea what's going to happen before 32 or if your team's even going to stay there. That being said, yet another draft has the same name mocked to Seattle. For a minute there, it was a lot of corners. Avion Terrell was one of them, Colton Hood, another. But now another name keeps popping up, the latest from Peter Schrager, whose latest mock draft is posted to ESPN this morning at pick 32 at Notre Dame. He's got Seattle taking running back Jadarian Price. Yet another mock has this guy going to Seattle. Daniel Jeremiah, a massive fan of Jadarian Price going to Seattle. Bump. Is this a where there's smoke, there's fire situation?
There's got to be a little bit. I don't think these experts just throw names out there without, one, doing the research, going through the scenarios, and then talking to people who are close to these teams, right? You have to do some investigative type deal. I would love this. If this were to be true, I would love this. I think every Seahawk fan, if the Hawks were to be able to pull this off, would feel a lot better about this offense in this run game. We feel like John has put out there that he supports the running backs who are already in that room. Maybe he's just trying to throw off the scent a little bit of what they're trying to do. But if they were to get Price, this changes the game. He is a downhill runner. He has great lateral movement. He's faster than what his 40 says. He will break tackles. He'll make you miss an open field. He's a great running back. 12 touchdowns, I believe, last year. The most explosive plays in the country. He runs a 48, 40, 58, 30. I mean, he's a good ball player. If this were to happen, I think even I would feel better about the direction of this offense.
We had Pete Sampson on yesterday, who covers Notre Dame for The Athletic, and we asked him about Price. He said this.
I think he's a really talented back. He's just not Jeremiah Love. I think the things about him that you need to know if you're a Seahawks fan and they pick him, kid missed his entire freshman year with his Achilles, has never been like a lead back at Notre Dame, can help you on special teams, has multiple kickoff return touchdowns, both against USC, catches the ball pretty well out of the backfield, had some fumbling issues, nothing egregious, but something that would probably come up with scouts. And, you know, I think he ran like a 4.49 at the combine. I think he plays a little bit faster than that. He was not somebody that you ever saw get caught from behind, but it was one of those guys where you felt like he was going to, but he just kept running away from people. And he's jacked. So I think body type-wise, probably not dissimilar from the guy who walked out the door in Seattle. So I think he would be a really attractive option for Seattle at the very end of the first round.
Okay, so body type-wise, not dissimilar from Ken Walker, but it sounds like not necessarily your answer for losing Ken Walker because they're different.
No, I think he could be part of the answer.
Okay, so it's not like we didn't, if you're looking at this and you're the Seahawks, you're not going, oh, we just drafted a 1,000-yard running back. You're going, we are putting together the pieces of a puzzle.
Exactly. Because you know what we keep forgetting? I mean, we don't forget it, but we don't mention it. Like, Charbonnet is going to be back eventually. He will be back. So whatever running backs you have in that room, you got to imagine a world where Charbonnet is getting half of those carries anyway. And I think that if you were to get Price, when Charbonnet's healthy, you put those two together. I like that combination. Mm-hmm. I like the combination with him and the guys who are already there, because that's the approach you're gonna have to take with this running back situation. Is you got to try it all out. Preseason, we're going to see a bunch of Kenny, a bunch of George, a bunch of Manuel, or whoever else they draft or who they bring in. They put out there that they believe in the guys who are in that room, and they probably do. But we got to come out here and see it now. We got to see some flashes. And George has had his moments, and so have Kenny. It's just been so long since we've seen them that we got to be reminded exactly what type of runners they are.
We also asked Pete about Price's personality. Bump mentioned, like, hey, every guy I talked to from Notre Dame, like, they're always really mature. Julian Love, one of those guys.
Jadarian Price reminds me of Julian Love from a personality point of view. If Price ends up in Seattle, I think you're getting another one. Julian Love was one of those guys. I remember covering him as a recruit, and you're like, all right, you're going to be a captain at Notre Dame, and I know this your senior year of high school. Like, I think his personality is rare in terms of leadership, maturity. You feel like even in college, you felt like you were talking to somebody who was about 37 years old. I was just unique that way.
So his personality reminds him of Julian, a very mature, thoughtful, emotional leader, and a smart player. That sounds like the personality type the Seahawks are going for. And look, I know you don't just want to go like just a personality hire. Like, if you fumble all the time but are a great leader, it's like, sorry, man. Like, you still need to be able to ball out. But what if this is a good combo for Seattle? Is both a fit for need and also a culture fit for what Schneider's trying to build?
I mean, you're always looking for that combination. You got to have the skill. We've seen them pass on guys who are more than qualified to contribute to the ball club just because of their personalities. I think that's just like the icing. All right. Everything else is good. He has a great personality. He's a Notre Dame guy. I talked about my interactions with guys who have played at Notre Dame. They're solid individuals. Yeah, it's a good fit because you want to enhance the culture. You don't want to bring in someone that kind of chop it down and challenge it. You want someone to come in and get acclimated and even elevate it. Those are the type of guys that you want in this ball club. So it's good to hear that I'm watching film and thinking I want that, and then I'm hearing about him off the field, and I still have the same feelings.
Now, last one here in our final minute before we jump to Seahawks Draft Blog's Rob Staton and ask him not just about Jadarian, but about a number of other prospects he really likes for Seattle, is whether or not they'll actually take him at 32 or if they could get him later. The difference with Zabel at 18, and I started by saying we kept hearing Zabel mock to Seattle and it ended up happening, is like, I didn't feel like Seattle was going to trade back from 18. When they got 5, when they got 9, and even when they were taking JSN in the 20s, like those felt like picks where they were comfortable staying and knew what they wanted to do. The only other time John Schneider's picked at 32, he traded back.
Yeah.
Could you get Jadarian in the second?
That's too deep to tell. It's too deep. I think the most predictable part of a draft are picks 1 through 10.
Yeah, right. Everything else.
Everything else.
A little wild.
Who knows? Maybe they didn't like a physical on this one. They didn't like an interview with this guy.
Yeah.
We're shifting our philosophy over here. It's tough, man. Can you possibly? But I don't think he'd be there.
Okay. You're listening to Bump Stacy on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app. We are going to stay with this topic, but we're bringing on a draft expert, Seahawks Draft Blog's Rob Staton. He joins us next.
Brock and Salk, morning 6 to 10.
There's no one reason why they're 4-6 other than they're not hitting. I mean, this is a pretty familiar story. Heading into the game yesterday, they were 28th in batting average. They only had 8 home runs, which have mostly come in bunches. They were 25th in OPS.
I'd be hard-pressed to find any other answer than that.
The expectations, I do think, are a problem.
And all the expectations and all that comes with it, that's a new place to live.
Only on Seattle Sports, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
Bull riding is not just a sport. It's a gamble of guts and glory. Nothing else compares. It's Cooper Tire's PBR Tacoma at Tacoma Dome, April 24th and 25th. Ready to be cowboy? Get your tickets at Ticketmaster. It's bull time.
Have a troublesome tree in need of removal? P&D Tree Service is up to the task. Local experts in tree removal for residential and commercial. If it's 1 tree or 15 trees, close quarters or land clearing, call P&D Tree. They'll get the job done safely and quickly, turning multi-day jobs into a few hours, saving you time and money. They'll clear trees away from homes to help you save on home insurance. They specialize in large tree removal. Ever see a tree removed by crane? PNDTreeservice.com.
You're losing your hair and you simply need a solution that works. You want the best. Modern technology, top-rated physicians, something that's guaranteed to work. Guys, you need world-class Dr. Perungo and his team at Advanced Hair. Advanced Hair has completely redefined hair restoration. From the experience itself to their unmatched results. Receding hairline, bald spot, thinning hair, maybe all three like I had. Get your hair back with Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment that begins to regrow your own natural hair the very next day. Advanced Hair has changed tens of thousands of lives, including mine. And get this, Advanced Hair is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. For your free consultation, call 425-449-8185. Right now, you'll get $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. Refine your hairline with the team that redefined hair restoration. That's 425-449-8185. Or for the before and afters, visit advancedhair.com.
Got a Tesla, EV, or hybrid that needs repairs or maintenance? Take it to the experts at A&M Auto Repair in Bellevue, the new dealer alternative for your EV or hybrid. Visit A&M Auto Repair at myevpros.com or call 425-96-EV-FIX.
It's tax time, y'all. If you want to file free, this next one's for you.
Now taxes is so free. Table tax, free edition only. Roughly 37% of filings qualify. Simple form 1040 returns only. Now this is taxes.
Love that jam. Up next, commercials.
Intuit TurboTax Free Edition. See if you qualify at turbotax.com/free. No schedules except for earned income tax credit, child tax credit, student loan interest, and Schedule 1A.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It's a brave face we put on. We never want to be any trouble. But you know, getting older isn't all smiles and birthday parties. Sometimes it's facing the fact that we are aging. And you know what? That can be pretty hard. If you need a little support or just want to talk to someone, 988 is here for you. It's free and it's confidential. Call 988 anywhere, anytime. A message from the Washington State Department of Health.
This might be the most surprising statistic I've shared in decades of doing local news. More than 75% of commuters will be involved in a car accident at some point. JP Pendergast of Pendergast Law with more.
What makes it more surprising? The average person will be involved in 3 to 4 collisions in their lifetime.
With accidents unbelievably prevalent, what are some safety tips if it happens to you?
Safety first. Secondary collisions are not uncommon while awaiting help. Turn on those hazards and remain in a safe place. If a bystander witnessed the accident, capture their information and encourage them to remain at the scene. Seek medical attention immediately if needed, as delaying can be a costly mistake. Lastly, remember that statements made to police and insurance adjusters can affect your case.
Collisions are more common than we'd like to think. If you find yourself in one, follow these helpful tips and then call my friends at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one's injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
PendergastLaw.com.
Hey, baseball fans, Rick Riz here. I'm excited to introduce you to my good friend Keith Dashafee, owner of Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Keith?
Thanks, Rick. Improve your play with 25% off windows and doors or 12 months, no payments, and no interest. And we're giving back with 2 $5,000 scholarships for our local youth sports teams. Upgrade your home at PellaPNW.com.
That's fantastic, Keith. Don't wait. Schedule your free appointment today at PellaPNW.com.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
The Michigan Wolverines held off UConn to win its first men's hoops national championship since 1989. Final score 69-63. Michigan and Duke are early favorites for the title in 2027. The Mariners dropped their first of a 3-game series against the Rangers. The only good news here was Cal Raleigh getting his first home run of the season. Otherwise, bats went cold. Game 2 today at 5:05 p.m. George Kirby on the mound. Pre-game show starts at 4 p.m. right here on Seattle Sports.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time. From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bump and Stacy
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now.
Seahawks Draft Blog's Rob Staton joining us now on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline, and I'm going to dive right into asking you about a name that I saw mocked to Seattle once again this morning, this time from Peter Schrager. What should we know about Jadarian Price out of Notre Dame?
He had the most explosive plays of all of the running backs who were eligible for this draft from the 2025 season. So if you are looking to replace what Ken Walker gave you in terms of big plays, then Jadarian Price has shown that he can do that. His missed tackle force rate is amongst the highest in the class. I think it is at the top. He's second for yards after contact per attempt. So all of those different statistics that you're looking for to try and replace Ken Walker, he ticks those boxes. It's just a question of how early do you want to take this guy? There are definitely people in the league. I spoke to somebody a couple of weeks ago who thinks he should be a high second-round pick. And this is somebody who knows what he's talking about. But there are other people who very firmly believe that he's somebody who should go late second, early third round. So it's just a question of how early do the Seahawks think this player is worth taking? Is he somebody you consider at 32? Or is he somebody who could even be there, maybe close to around the 64th pick?
If they don't grab Jadarian and they have the running back room that's currently constructed, how do you feel about it? Are you confident, or do you think that a piece still needs to be added?
They've got to add somebody else. They've just lost all those big plays. Like, they've got players who can, get some hard yards for you, can come in and spell maybe. Zach Charbonnet will hopefully come back at some point and provide a bit more than that. The players they've got at the moment can do a job, but you want to run the ball as effectively as possible. We saw how running the ball brilliantly towards the end of last season helped spur you on towards winning a Super Bowl. You just can't get by at this position. They need a little bit more. And whether that's Jadarian Price, whether it's Jonah Coleman, possibly at 96, whether it's one of these other running backs, I don't think they're necessarily going to force this need, but I think they are going to take one in this draft at some point.
Are you not totally buying then John Schneider's confidence in the group they have? You think, like, John, I know that you want to add more.
Yeah, look, it's the kind of thing that you're going to say, isn't it, at this time of year? Like, if you're a GM, you're not going to tip your hand. You're not going to come out in an interview and go, yes, we desperately need a running back. And if we don't get one of those, we're going to be really panicking after the draft. Like, they're going to keep their cards close to their chest. I'm convinced they will look at this group. They've got Mike Washington coming in for an official visit. They'll have spent some time. I know they've spent some time with Jonah Coleman. Jonah Coleman is very close, I understand, to certain members of Seattle's roster already, which isn't a huge surprise in as he plays down the road. So he would fit into the roster. You've got Jadarian Price, who is a perfect character fit, who's got the explosive traits that they look for. I heard you talking about him in the week, saying that his sort of playing speed on tape looks faster than the 4.49 that he ran. Completely agree with that. You do see him. I put this little video together, which I'm going to put out later in the week, which is all of the times that he and Jonah Coleman made people miss in the open field. And it's something that they do really, really well. So I think that you're looking at a group of players there who've shown they can be explosive, that they can make things happen, that they can be creative. They'll pick, I think, somebody from that group to bring in.
Because people are concerned about the running back room during our show, someone texted in and was like, hey, Bump, do you think that the Hawks should put Rashid Shaheed back there and give him touches? And I said, look, he's a wideout. He's a track guy. Yeah, I would give him a few touches in the backfield, but not something I would lean on. How would you use Rashid Shaheed?
Well, we saw them use him with some sweeps, and you can use him in those trick plays. I don't have a problem with, like, the extended handoff, throw it out to the flat. see if he can make things happen, get your guards on the run, try and get them to the second level. These are the kind of things you can do with him. He isn't a running back, though. I mean, he looks about 165 pounds out there, wet through. So I'm certainly not putting him in the backfield and asking him to run into linebackers. Like, that's a surefire way to sort of lose him for several weeks. You definitely can't have him running through the tackles.
Is there anyone you're seeing that's more likely to be day 3, where because the Seahawks don't have a ton of picks, we're just kind of assuming like they'll probably pick up a 6th rounder. Like, they'll do something there, but there's no way to just like mock them to Seattle quite yet. But anyone kind of in that group where you're going, God, I've just fallen in love with this guy. He's not high up on a draft board, but like, he's such a fun player. I randomly just loved watching his film.
There's a lot of players who could fit into that. You know, I think the safety is so deep. I just wonder how early some of these guys are going to go. Like, it would not be a huge surprise if someone like Deshaun Singleton went in round 4, or if he maybe lasted. You've got other players like Dalton Johnson. I really enjoyed watching his tape. You know, really physical, tone-setting safety. He's going to give you absolutely everything. Jacob Thomas is another safety who I think, if you can kind of get into that range, could be quite interesting. Where are some of these linebackers going to go? Bryce Bircher from Oregon is a player who, typically with his profile, he wouldn't be surprised if he went round 3, round 4. It wouldn't be surprised if he lasted later on. Keyshawn Elliott's another linebacker that I kind of think in that kind of a range. Torian York, is he going to last to sort of the 6th round? You've got Carver Willis, the tackle at Washington, who had a great game against Ohio State. You know, you're playing those high-quality Ohio State defensive linemen. He played very well in that game last season. He's going to have to kick inside to guard. He did have a good broad jump. He has got good zone blocking grades. Is he somebody that is still going to be there later on day 3, who you can bring in, kick him inside to guard, and use him as a sort of a project player? There's a whole bunch of running backs who are, I think you're going to find the running backs come off the board quite quickly, and then you're going to have a big gap from probably when Jonah Coleman goes all the way through to day 3. And then you're going to have, I mean, I'm going to count them now. I've got 13 running backs graded for sort of like round 5, 6, 7. So it may be that if they don't take one early, they'll go and have a look at a Keelan Black or a Chip Trayanum, Roman Hemby, people like that potentially on day 3 could be brought in if they don't get one. So there's a whole bunch of players. I've got about 250 players on the board right now. You can always find somebody that you like for every single round. But they've got to sort of address those key needs, I think. The running back position. They've got to add a pass rusher at some point. They're going to have to add a cornerback at some point. They might do that later on, but I think those 3 positions really have to be looked at. And if they're not addressed in those first 3 picks, they've got to get back into the veteran market after the draft.
We were having a discussion yesterday about who the Seahawks want to be. And I think we came to the conclusion they want to be the same team they were last year. You don't kind of just throw out the blueprint and start all over. Do you think they are capable of being similar to what they were last year? And is that the formula you think that will get them back to a Super Bowl?
Yeah, I think it's the exact formula that they want to be and that they're going to try and pursue again, which is trenches based. They want to be physical up front. The defensive line shuts down the run. They've got to try and add a few more quick wins, and Mike McDonald's been talking about that off the edge. But effectively, that defensive line did a great job in the big games to get them to a place where they could win a Super Bowl and then dominate the Patriots in that Super Bowl to win the game. It was all of the disruption they caused up front that basically won them that game against the Patriots. They want to be tough and physical up front on the offensive line as well. And we've seen, major resources pumped into that. I think one of the big question marks is, when we talk about those needs at running back, cornerback, defensive end, are they going to say, yeah, that's all great, but if we really like someone like Emmanuel Pregnon from Oregon, who's fantastic zone blocking grade, highly explosive, very as explosive as some of the top offensive linemen in the NFL currently, do you want to sort of add even more talent to your offensive line to be even more physical up front, which maybe helps your running game as much as adding another running back does? I think that's how they want to do things. John Schneider, for all of the talk about how much emphasis John Schneider has put into, say, the offensive line, if you actually look since 2010, they've used 32 picks, sort of their first pick and their second pick in all of the drafts that he's done. Of those 32, 19 of them have either been an offensive lineman or a defensive lineman. And that's a big Ron Wolf thing. If you speak to people who have worked with Ron Wolf, they will say that he was all trenches when he was leading things at Green Bay. That's the philosophy that John Schneider's learned from. And I think that now that he's got firm control on the roster, working with a head coach in Mike McDonald who seems to share that vision, we are just going to continue to see this team built through the trenches. That's how they want to dominate, and that is how they won the Super Bowl last season.
On a very related note, kind of building off of that point, I'm glad you mentioned that. I was going to ask you if, because you've been examining the Seahawks approach to the draft for years and years and years. That includes the tenure where Pete Carroll was in there with John and the tenure without him. And we were wondering, right, when John was in full control, well, is it going to look a little bit different? We never figured out, like, which picks are strictly John's, which are Pete's. They were always in tandem with everything. Are you noticing a change in tendency, approach? Are you noticing an era where, with John Schneider in control, drafting looks a little bit different?
I think the tendency really changed around 2022. I think they kind of 2021 was a write-off because they had 3 picks. But before that, they kind of taken chances and tried to fill needs and have kind of looked at areas. So, for example, you trade away Frank Clark about 3 days before the draft. You then get into a situation in round 1 where Rashawn Gary and Brian Burns go earlier than expected. And what do? Oh, we'll just take LJ Collier because he's the next one on the list. And that doesn't really work out. They wanted to draft a safety. I think Jonathan Abram came off the board at the end of the first round, which they're probably a bit disappointed about. So they pivot to Marquise Blair. And I think it was very much, okay, we're going to try and fill holes here. They then took risks on like the Malik McDowells and people like that, and people who perhaps did not have the same kind of character that they needed to build this thing. And that, to me, it was the real thing that they focused on. It was like, we're going to double down on character and football character. And the smart, tough, reliable mentality didn't just start with Mike McDonald. I think it did start towards the latter end of the Carroll era. And the way that they have drafted and brought these tough, physical, reliable players in from 2022 onwards and have stuck very firmly to that. Like I remember in 2023, a lot of people thought they were going to draft Jalen Carter. And I was getting asked to go on the TV in Vegas every week because on the Seahawks Draft Blog, I was saying, there's no way they're going to take Jalen Carter because of the character side of things is a disaster zone. There's no way they're going to take him because they've changed their philosophy. And so it proved they were never going to take him. And they took Devin Witherspoon, who is the complete opposite of Jalen Carter in terms of being smart, being reliable. And I think that's how they're going to continue this thing. And as we look through the players who have not shown that they can stay on the field, the players who have not shown that you can rely on them, that do not have the high football character, who are maybe me first rather than that kind of mob mentality, they're not going to go anywhere near those guys. And it's pretty easy when you actually listen to the players, do their interviews, and you read how the teams talk about these individuals. You can kind of work out who the high football character players are.
We're seeing what they do with these draft picks, right? They got 4 of them things. Maybe they turn it into 5 or 6. But if not, you got to go to free agency, right? Some veteran who's just hanging out at home waiting for his number to be called. Is there a name or two that you like if the Hawks aren't able to get what they want out of this draft?
I think the other obvious one is Von Miller, because even if you draft a pass rusher, and it does seem as if they're bringing in enough pass rushers now that Mason Thomas, it's been reported today, is coming in for an official visit at Oklahoma. They've had other visits with other pass rushers. Zion Young's having a visit as well, apparently. So they're definitely checking in that market and could take one of these guys at either 32 or 64. But it does feel like, last year they had Boye Mafe and they still tried to sign Von Miller. And they sounded like they were pretty close there. And Von Miller appears quite prepared to play again. He's gone on the record in interviews and said, it's probably a mistake that I didn't go to Seattle in the end. He'd probably have another Super Bowl ring now. It kind of just makes sense that we're going to have the draft, and whether they take a pass rusher or not, they may even have like a handshake deal already in place here. Look, we're not going to sign you now because we want to protect our comp picks, but as soon as we get past that date after the draft, get yourself in, come and do another physical or whatever you need to do, and let's get him signed up. And I think that is a distinct possibility. It will be even more so if there's bad news on DeMarcus Lawrence, if he decides, do you know what, I've had a good think about it, I'm going to call it a day. All of the noise is positive at the moment, but in 2019, Doug Baldwin didn't retire until I think about 2 days after the draft. And that was a draft where they took 2 receivers. So it was quite clear that they'd kind of said to Doug Baldwin, let's hold off on that announcement until after the draft. We don't want to show a hand. You take DK Metcalf, you take Gary Jennings, and then you announce that Doug Baldwin's retiring. I hope it doesn't happen, but I suppose there's at least a possibility that the Seahawks could take a pass rusher in this draft, go and sign someone like Von Miller, and then when they've had the opportunity to do that, it then emerges that Lawrence is retiring. I hope that's not the case, but it's at least a scenario we should contemplate.
We tend to focus very understandably on incoming rookies and certainly on previewing the class when we get to this time of the year. It's why, for a number of reasons, we love having you on, but you are a draft expert. However, you also know a ton about the players that have already been drafted, and so I'd be remiss if I didn't also ask about guys that are going to be entering their second season, right? We got the shiny new toy last year or the year before. We still got to talk about, how he can continue to develop. Is there a player who is set to be in his second, maybe third year in Seattle where you go, I'm just expecting another level for him that could really lift this team?
There's two obvious ones for me. I think Riley Mills is right up there. I mean, he's had his first sack in the Super Bowl, and you are absolutely just taking the soul of poor Jared Wilson there and embarrassing him in front of the whole world. Like, Mills was somebody before his latest injury, which basically sent him into the place where he was effectively drafted. He was a second-round talent. There's absolutely no doubt about that. And if he'd have gone to the combine and done all the testing and maybe gone to the Senior Bowl and dominated in the 1v1s, who knows how early he could have gone. Like, the tape was baseline second-round talent. And they have taken a chance on him because of the injuries to see if they can bring him in and work on that. And if you look at players who signed as veterans a year ago, everyone was going, well, Cooper Kupp can't stay healthy and DeMarcus Lawrence has had injuries. They basically played the whole of the season. So whatever they're doing in Seattle is working to try and keep these guys healthy. If they could keep Riley Mills relatively healthy and get him out there, you might get another second-round player for free, basically. And that's the kind of chance you take with these players. And he looked really good in that Super Bowl. If he could go to the next level and get a full training camp under his belt, who knows what he could do. And then the other player for me is just Elijah Arroyo. He was a fantastic player at Miami. Showed amazing talent as a receiver. There is a little bit of a George Kittle, Travis Kelce sort of ability to get open there and can become a real dominant receiving threat. You just think if he can now just put the injuries behind him, get another training camp there, stay on the field, maybe a bit more familiarity and a bit of time spent with Sam Darnold, what could he achieve? I'm really looking forward to seeing what Arroyo can do in year two.
Very quickly before we let you go, tell listeners what they can expect on Seahawks Draft Blog, what you're working on this week heading into next.
A million different sort of articles. There's a mock draft up there now. I will have lots of sort of analytical breakdowns on who they might pick. We've got some interviews coming up with sort of draft experts, people in the game. There's information there based on, I don't know why, how from England has managed to sort of acquire a couple of contacts in the league, but somehow pulled it off. So I can share some of the information that they're bringing to the table as well. And then on the YouTube channel, we'll be doing loads of streams and videos and interviews and everything like that. So SeahawksDraftBlog.com, if you could go and check it out and make the effort worthwhile. It's all free, no charge, no subscription needed, no commercials. Please go and check it out.
He is Rob Staton. Rob, we'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, Rob.
See you later.
Let's get to 4 Down territory.
This is 4 Down territory, going inside the game with former Seahawks and Coug wide receiver Michael Bumpus.
First down, how do you feel about Mendoza's draft decision?
He's talking about not going to the draft and staying at home with his family. I think everyone is assuming he's going to be the number 1 pick. And at first, the kid in me, right, growing up watching the draft was like, what are you doing, man? Like, you want to be there. You want to shake Goodell's hand and have your name called out and get all that love. And then I thought about just the type of person Mendoza is. He's not worried about all that. You know, me by myself, I wanted the lights and all that stuff. He's just different. So at first I was kind of confused, but then I'm like, yeah, you do your own thing, man. Like, stay true to yourself. I said before, like, Mendoza's not the type of dude that I probably would hang around with or have a relationship with. Doesn't mean I don't respect the dude. But this is an example. We just think differently. If I'm the number 1 pick, Stacey, I'm showing up in my suit. I'm walking down the hall. I'm hugging moms in the crowd. I'm doing all of that. But he's such a low-key type of person that none of that stuff is important to him. So at first, I'm like, what's he doing? Then I thought about who Mendoza is. I'm like, yeah, this makes complete sense.
Second down. What don't you like about Pavia's Panthers visit?
That's a word right there. Pavia's Panthers visit. So Diego Pavia, the quarterback out of Vanderbilt, he's taking a visit to the Panthers. And look, I have fought for my short kings my whole life.
Always.
All right? And he's listed at 6 foot. He is not 6 foot. He's probably 5'10". He's shorter than me. Smaller quarterbacks just don't have the success rate that bigger quarterbacks have. So I'm looking at the Panthers and I'm thinking, why bring in another smaller quarterback if you're really thinking about going that route for a backup? Then I start to always try to find a reason why. Thinking maybe, okay, the playbook doesn't have to change much if we have a similar size type quarterback. If I'm the Panthers, I'm looking for the complete opposite. I'm looking for a 6'4", 6'3" type of dude who can throw that rock. It's because I know how limited the smaller quarterbacks are. Not that they can't have success. Russ had success. He's a smaller quarterback. Drew Brees had success. He's a smaller quarterback. They just don't hit the way that the bigger ones do. So I would love to just hear Canales' thought process through this. Is it because you just want a similar body, or you just really like the way Diego competes? I like Diego. Competitor, a little wild at times, but you need that on your squad. So we'll see how it ends up. I doubt he goes there.
Yeah.
A lot of these trips are just for show, but it had me interested.
I do like the idea of the Panthers supporting the petites. You know?
Petites, yes.
Just all petite Panthers. They're down. Can you see a world where Kirk Cousins beats out Mendoza?
I do. One, because it's okay not to rush the quarterback in. Tom Brady is one of the decision makers with the Vegas Raiders. He sat for a little bit. Also, Kirk Cousins played with Kubiak, or was coached by Kubiak. He was his QB coach for 2 seasons, offensive coordinator for 1. Janoko over there was also with the Vikings when Cousins was there. Dennison was also there when Cousins was there. It's set up for Kirk Cousins to walk in, know the playbook, and have some success. Mendoza's a smart kid. Went to Cal, had to sneak into Cal, right? Then obviously he transferred. So I don't doubt that he won't be able to pick up the playbook, but there's nothing like having a veteran in there that just knows it already. It takes some pressure off to having to start this young guy. And I hope they don't start him. I hope they let Kirk Cousins go out there and
they're definitely sitting him.
Do whatever he does.
Yeah.
Do whatever he does. So, yes, I'm going to anticipate Kirk Cousins being the starter week 1 for the Raiders.
4th down. We were joined earlier this hour by Seahawks draft blogs Rob Staton. Anything stand out from that conversation?
Yeah, I didn't know this about John Schneider. 19 out of 32 picks have been offensive line and defensive linemen. And he said that's the Green Bay philosophy. We've talked about how you need help on that O-line. The D-line's been pretty solid, but you need help on the O-line. He's trying. There's nothing sticking, but finally maybe something has stuck. You have Zabel, you got Cross, you have Abe, you have Sandell, you got Anthony Bradford at the right guard. We assume they're going to bring somebody in to compete with him. But no, I didn't know. I knew that he had taken a lot of hacks at offensive line, defensive line, but I didn't know it was that many. 19 of 32 picks. So it's not for lack of trying, but I think they might have found the right formula when it comes to O-line, D-line.
I wonder if that's why Schneider bristles a bit when people have accused him of not investing in the offensive line or not trying, right? He's probably like, excuse you, I have been trying. It just hasn't worked out. And furthermore, guys that have left us, you know, either by trade or in free agency, have had careers elsewhere. It just hasn't worked out. Because you can't say that people are wrong in critiquing, you know, prior to this iteration, several years of Seahawks offensive line play. Like, that's not bias or people being mean.
Right.
In John's defense, I guess you could critique the idea that they weren't making picks. Although, look, even then, there's probably people that felt like, well, you could trade up. You could make a bigger signing. You could trade up and take a guard or a tackle. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'm not shocked that Jermaine Ifedi at 30 didn't become your franchise guy. I don't know. But
I think he's in a good place now. Whoever's helping with eval and all that good stuff, the scouting department, they've done a good job so far. You drafted 3 out of your 5 starting, maybe 4 out of your 5 offensive starting linemen right now. That's a good sign.
You're listening to Bump and Stacy on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app. Timeline coming your way next.
You can stream every pitch of every inning of every game all season long. Oh, and it's completely free.
It's a tremendous catch.
Only on the Seattle Sports app. That's right. The free Seattle Sports app puts every single Mariners game right in the palm of your hand.
On a platter, come and get it.
One app, every game. Plus the latest Mariners news, insider access, video, and podcasts.
Holy smokes, what a play!
Pretty awesome, right? Just like the Mariners.
For over 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto Repair has been the one locals trust for honest pricing, expert service, and guaranteed repairs. This dedication has earned them a Carfax Preferred designation. At Bucky's, every customer gets detailed Carfax updates, timely service reminders, and a full service history all at your fingertips. With 16 family-owned locations, no appointment needed, and easy financing, Bucky's makes auto care simple. Visit Bucky's.com today and drive with confidence. Bucky's.com.
Meet the company electrifying the marine industry. ARC, a fully electric boat that feels like a luxury EV. Significantly less maintenance and service, ARC is built to be as easy to operate as it is to maintain. Featuring heated seats and seat backs, a large display, easy handling, and impressive kick. You have to see it and experience ARC for yourself. Book a demo. They'll pick you up on Lake Washington, Lake Union, or Lake Sammamish if you can't come to them in Kirkland. Go to arcboats.com/demo. ARC. You have to see it to believe it.
I had pain. I had numbness in my feet. That pain and that numbness just got worse and worse and worse as time went on.
This is Greg describing life with neuropathy.
I went to 5 podiatrists, tried different treatments, tried different orthotics, tried different shoes, had cortisone shots in the tops and the bottoms of my feet. Saw a neurologist. All my medical doctors said, can't help you. Live with the pain. You're not going to be able to sleep. This is your life. And then I just gave up until I found Sound Pain Solutions.
I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist at Sound Pain Solutions. Our neuropathy treatments can rehabilitate damaged nerves. We use FDA-cleared, non-surgical, drug, and pain-free procedures that help neuropathy sufferers like Greg find relief.
I feel better. I mean, just feeling better is huge.
If you experience numbness, shooting or burning pains, or loss of balance, call us. Sound Pain Solutions, 855-996-0025, or click soundpainsolutions.com.
If you actually are the person that will take care of them after the fact, if you actually will be there for them, if you will pick up your phone, then they come back to you.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
How was your break?
It was great until I stopped for gas. Prices have gone up almost $1 with no end in sight. I might have to start watching how much I drive.
That's exactly why I use Upside. I never pay full price for gas with the free Upside app.
Upside?
Yes, Upside. It's the free app that gives you cash back just for buying the gas you're already buying. So even with the rising gas prices, I'll never have to limit how much I drive.
Does that actually add up to anything?
Just last year, I made over $200 with the Upside app.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Upside app right now.
Download the free Upside app to earn cash back on the gas you're already buying. Use promo code THRIVE25 for an extra 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank account, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code THRIVE25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first fill-up. That's THRIVE25.
Offers vary by user and location. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions.
Get ready to be transported back to the golden era of rock. It's John Waite with John Cafferty and the Beaver Brown Band. Live at Emerald Queen Casino, April 9th. John Waite and John Cafferty, April 9th at Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest.
Mariners and Rangers tonight in Arlington. First pitch at 5:05. Pregame at 4. Hear every pitch live for free on the Seattle Sports app.
Home is more than a place to live. It's where the best of life unfolds, where possibility sparks, where community grows, where lives take shape. At the Master Builders Association of King and Snohomish Counties, that belief drives the work our builders, remodelers, and tradespeople do every day. Because when we build more homes, we're building so much more than housing. We're making room for what matters most. Learn more at roomforwhatmatters.com.
Hey, it's Dave Wyman speaking to those who have recently been diagnosed with prostate cancer. I spoke with Dr. Meyer, the medical director of the Swedish Radiosurgery Center, and Dr. Meyer said Swedish CyberKnife patients are really satisfied with their experience. They report very few side effects, and they're seeing excellent cancer control 10 years later. To learn more about CyberKnife for prostate cancer, go to swedish.org/cyberknifeprostate or call 206-320-7187. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish CyberKnife.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here. For my friends at People Come First, you've heard me talk about them. PCF Construction Group. People come first. And if you've been dreaming of a new deck, well, now is the time to call PCF before the good weather arrives and their schedule gets all filled up. With a new deck, patio cover, heater, and fireplace from PCF, you can enjoy your outdoor space year-round no matter the weather. And for a limited time, get 50% off demolition costs. That's up to $5,000 when you book your project with PCF. Contact People Come First Construction Group for all the details. You know, they designed and built our outdoor living space, and we loved it. Start planning and designing your dream deck now so you're ready to build this summer. Planning, permitting, construction, they take time. So don't wait another day. Get started today. Get project ideas, browse their amazing photos, and find all the offer details at pcfgroup.com. That's pcfgroup.com.
Making your outdoor space with People Come First.
Around the Diamond is sponsored by Klein Jewelers.
This is The Timeline
with Bump and Stacy.
Brought to you by 1-800-DUI-AWAY.
History was made last night with Michigan's NCAA Tourney Championship. The Big Ten became the first conference ever to have champions in football, obviously Indiana, women's basketball, UCLA, and men's basketball, Michigan, in the same academic year. I'm actually a little surprised it hasn't happened at least once before.
Yeah. When I heard that, I thought for sure someone had done it before. But nah, man, the Big Ten, they run this, man. Indiana, they got like 25-year-olds out there in their football team. With Michigan, you got 5 transfers to come over and start for that squad. And then UCLA was probably the biggest upset too, man. You saw them beat South Carolina beat UConn. But no, this is good for the conference, man. It's nice to see a former Pac-12 team get a championship too.
Speaking of South Carolina, did you guys see that Gino and Don Staley have now said that they've moved on?
Of course. They're not going to dwell on that. They're too old for that. I ain't got time for all that.
They're too grown.
Yeah.
Too grown for that. They said they suggest everyone turn the page and refocus on growing women's basketball, which
refocus on the off season,
but also
else,
but also
you're the two
guys,
biggest
that
names.
was kind of weird.
You're the 2 biggest names in college basketball, women's college basketball.
I hate to say it, but that was kind of distracting, fairly. Next up, 2 of ESPN's most prominent NFL voices, Adam Schefter and Dan Orlovsky, are alums of Michigan, Shefty, and UConn, Orlovsky. So naturally, like anyone would, they made a wager over last night's title game. The consequence, Dan Orlovsky has to wear a dangly Michigan earring on air for a month.
You know, Dan comes out with a lot of strong, misguided takes, and one was that UConn was going to win the game last night. And I guess he has promised to wear, hold on, I'll give you the exact language because I did some digging on this last night to make sure that I had my facts straight because I didn't want to get anything wrong here. Dan basically has to wear a clip-on, dangling Michigan earring for the next month on every show he's on. And if he misses a day, it starts over. For 1 full month, a Michigan clip-on earring. So it's going to look good on him. He's going to look good with the pierced ear, the earring hanging down. Yeah, and we welcome Dan to the Michigan family.
I personally think Dan should have had to pierce his ear as part of this, like an actual piercing. But yeah, clip-on Michigan dangly earring in every TV hit he does for a month. And I love the caveat that if he misses one, he has to start it all over.
He's lucky it ain't the fall because he'd be everywhere in the fall. He got a.
I mean, the draft.
Draft's coming up, but
if ever there was a month.
But ain't nothing like Dan Orlovsky in the fall. I wouldn't have taken this bet.
That's a great bet.
I wouldn't have taken it. I was like, nah, I got to do something else. I'm not wearing a dangling earring. I haven't worn earrings in like 20 years. I'm not wearing.
But that's why it's great.
He must have been really confident in UConn.
Which is interesting because Michigan or Arizona, like you guys said, would have been favored. UConn made it close, but to be really confident is.
Well, and I'm guessing he was like, well, we've won 2 previous national championships to this. Like, why not make it a third? But God, yeah, a dangly earring for a month. So that means May 7th is the next closest day he goes on TV without it.
What if he just keeps it? Like, what if it becomes part of his identity?
Like Michael Jordan's one earring?
Or like, what if
Barry Bonds?
What if those things that you're doing, like, how last year a lot of the Mariners were shaving their facial hair to get mustaches? And now Cal's 60th home run, like this, like
will forever
be with him in a mustache. And it's like, what if Dan has this like insane breaking news story or this like iconic moment forever immortalized,
league-altering news? He's on the air,
and he's like, Lamar Jackson is being traded right now, or he's like, you guys will not believe this, but Myles Garrett is being traded mid-draft, and he's wearing a dangly clip-on Michigan earring, and that's immortalized forever, a clip that just goes viral all over.
It reminds me of the time that you lost a bet and had to dress as Goth.
Yeah.
And I was praying that there was going to be major breaking news that day so that all the video pulled from it would be you in your Slipknot t-shirt, black lipstick.
You know what I remember
black eyeliner
to this day about that bet too? Is it was that JP would hit a home run by a certain date. And he hit a home run the next day.
Dang. Yeah, he was like, I got you.
Yeah, and I was like, thanks for being a day late. Day late, $1 short, JP. Love you, buddy. Hey, have you ever been curious about, like, the plan an organization has if someone goes into labor at a game? I've never really wondered this. I'm going to be honest. I've never wondered, like, what would happen if someone went into labor here. But it happens, like, in movies, I guess, and apparently now in real life. The Edmonton Oilers had to spring into action on Sunday night when, this is real, a woman delivered a baby at a game.
Breaking news. We have word that someone has gone into labor here tonight. There's a baby being born on the 7th floor at Rogers Place as we speak. So someone's going to have a great story to tell. It would be nice to have the mother join us on After Hours to describe what's happened, but that could be asking a bit much.
Someone's going to have a great story to tell. So someone who's never given birth without pain medication. Yeah. Oh, how hilarious. What a funny story.
So I used to work box office at the Shower Center, and our old box office manager, she was the box office manager for the San Diego Padres. So I worked at the Shower Center like 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. And it was probably like 12 to 14 years ago. This exact same thing happened at a San Diego Padres game, and she was there to witness the birth of the kid. And
wait, so people were just standing around?
No, so like they took the woman to
a more private area.
Private area, but like having to run and get towels from the locker room and whatnot. She was there and said, sure enough, it was the craziest thing. They ended up giving the mom and the baby like tons and tons of Padres swag, and like I don't know if they gave them like season tickets or whatnot, but
I mean the Oilers should absolutely do something.
Yeah.
Look, there was a horrible game for you.
Are you I wonder if they're in playoff position here, because like you got to bring that family back. Yeah, they're leading the Pacific Division right now with 87 points. Have yet to clinch a playoff berth.
Yeah, but you got to give them extra tickets. I saw some people go, what was she doing at a game? It's like, first of all, you can be pregnant and go enjoy a game.
Yeah, you can go into labor at any time.
Something tells me that baby's probably early. Like, I don't think that this woman on the verge of giving birth or in labor is going to a game. I'm going to bet the baby's early. So, yeah, but man, I did look up that the 7th floor is not suite level. So, like, she was just, like, imagine being in the 300 level at a Seahawks game. You're just, what are you going to do?
You're just amongst the
amongst the
masses.
people. Next up, Red Sox catcher Wilson Contreras has spent 10 of 11 big league seasons in the National League Central with the Cubs and Cardinals prior to 2026. He played the Brewers on Monday and was hit by a pitch for the 24th time in his career against Milwaukee. Again, though, 10 of 11 with the Cubs and Cardinals. Okay. Contreras postgame says he's had enough.
It's not just a hit by pitch. That's the 24th time that they hit me in my career, 24th. And that's the 6th time they hit me. And they always say, I'm not trying to hit you. That get old. So next time they hit me again, I'm going to take one of them out. That's what happened. That's a message.
Okay.
I ain't mad at him.
That is kind of crazy, though.
Mad, yeah.
The next time you hit me, I'm going to take one of them out. That's a message. If I'm a Brewer, I'm going to go like, well, who? Which one?
Well, he did slide in the second with his spikes up, though, and got a little physical over there. But I'd be mad, too. And it's Woodruff, I believe, was the pitcher who's hit him 6 times on his own. So at some point, you start thinking, like, come on, man. You get frustrated. Like, I could imagine he's in the batter's box thinking, they're going to hit me right now. Watch, because this is just what happens every time I'm in here. So, yeah, it's baseball. They take care of their business.
Curtis, is he like a Ty France where just the way that he crowds the plate or the way, like, why is he getting hit so much?
I think because other teams don't like him.
Okay.
He's kind of known throughout baseball as being a bit of a hothead, and his reputation kind of precedes itself. I mean, sure, his stance might have something to do with it, but I think he's just not very liked by other teams.
Here's what Kristen Yelich said.
I think Woodruff handled all the emotion in the middle innings.
Big Woo's done a great job. I mean, he's pitched for a really long time. I mean, we've seen that skit for the last 10 years. It's nothing new, not surprising.
I kind of I don't want to say I want him to get hit. That's dark. I just want to see, well, what happens if he does?
You want the drama.
Is he going to make good on it?
Again.
He's going to get hit, and then what happens? And then who is he going after?
You charge after the pitcher. The catcher's going to be ready, though.
What's your
jump
move?
In front of him. If I'm getting hit by the same dude.
If you're the catcher and someone starts running to the mound.
Just tackle him.
Just run up and tackle him.
Just tackle him. Low. Tackle him low.
Yeah.
Get those legs all tangled up.
Shoelace tackle.
More like knees, thighs.
Oh, good form.
Yeah.
Let's go around the diamond. The Mariners look to bounce back against the Rangers in Game 2 of the series. Pregame starts at 4 p.m. First pitch at 5:05 p.m. right here on Seattle Sports. That's Around the Diamond, brought to you by Klein Jewelers Edmonds. You're listening to Bump and Stacy on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app. Hype Train coming your way next.
Brock and Salk, morning 6 to 10.
There's no one reason why they're 4-6 other than they're not hitting. I mean, this is a pretty familiar story. Heading into the game yesterday, they were 28th in batting average. They only had 8 home runs, which have mostly come in bunches. They were 25th in OPS.
I'd be hard-pressed to find any other answer than that.
The expectations, I do think, are a problem.
And all the expectations and all that comes with it, that's a new place to live.
Only on Seattle Sports, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
Well, spring is all about getting ready for summer, isn't it? But do you have a room just sitting empty and you've dreamt of making it your own home gym? Hey, Brock Heward here, and working out in your own home, well, it is the best. We've been doing so for years, and you can allow Top Fitness to create your own home gym. Simply give them your room dimensions, and they'll do the rest. A complete fitness room design. It's no secret why everyone, from personal trainers to pro athletes, love Top Fitness. Top Fitness represents the very best brands in fitness, like Precor, Inspire Fitness, along with many others. They also have everything from flooring to weights that go in a home gym. And right now, get spring special financing with 0% interest for 12 months, plus mention me and receive an $150 credit towards any purchase over $1,000. Spring is here to get you in the best shape, so go get into Top Fitness with locations in Tukwila, Linwood, and Bellevue, or simply visit topfitness.com for more info. That's Top Fitness, your best place for home fitness equipment.
Hey, it's Mike Salk here for my friends at Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. And if you're looking for a spot to catch all the spring baseball and sports, I got a place for you. Hawks Peak Sports Bar and Grill. It's your home for game days with more than 60 TVs, so you won't miss a play. They got great food and drinks, and nothing beats the views. So get in on all the action at Hawks Peak. Head to snocasino.com for all the details. That's snocasino.com. It is Seattle's closest Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. Please game responsibly.
Dino was suffering from a rotator cuff tear in his right shoulder.
Part of the pain is like taking off my shirt. I couldn't even really button my pants. I could actually qualify for a shoulder replacement if I wanted to go that route.
He chose to see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine for stem cell therapy.
I heard the commercials for Dr. Wagner. I did my research. I thought about surgery, but the recovery time was so long, I didn't want to have to be in a sling. I want to be able to retire in a few months, get back to bike riding and playing golf without any pain in my shoulder.
Dino knew from experience that stem cell therapy works. Dr. Wagner had already helped him recover from osteoarthritis in his thumb, but he's not done yet.
And now 2 years later, I'm having an issue with my left shoulder, so I've got it scheduled, and I'm going to go back to see Dr. Wagner again because it was so successful.
Before you choose surgery, consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. Schedule your consultation at drmarkwagnermd.com.
Hello, Seattle.
Bank of America, in partnership with Visa, invites you to a FIFA World Cup 26 watch party. Open an eligible Bank of America checking account in participating financial centers only for an opportunity to reserve 2 complimentary tickets while supplies last. Experience special musical guests, games, giveaways, food, and more, all at a legendary venue. Learn more at BofA.com/BofA Visa Watch Party. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America, proud to be the official bank of FIFA World Cup 26. Bank of America and a member FDIC. Terms apply. All rights reserved.
I'm Carolyn Osorio, the host of the Shadow Girls podcast, a deep dive into the Green River Killer investigation and the only known survivor.
He got both hands on my neck. I couldn't do nothing.
Rebecca did do something. It was her tip that proved pivotal in the arrest and conviction of Gary Ridgway. Join us on April 9th for a true crime event, the behind-the-scenes story of how an imperfect witness finally got her reward. Tickets available right now at nwcave.org.
Mariners and Rangers tonight in Arlington. First pitch at 5:05. Pregame at 4. Hear every pitch live for free on the Seattle Sports app.
If you owe back taxes, listen carefully to rule number 1. Never go up against the IRS alone. They're cracking down, freezing bank accounts, garnishing paychecks, canceling passports. Even your home or business could be at risk. But here's what they don't tell you. The IRS has powerful tax relief programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. That's why smart people call Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax resolution firm. Nobody knows these programs like the experts at Optima. Their team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $2 billion in tax debt for people just like you. The IRS is not stopping, so don't wait and don't take them on alone. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, call Optima today for a free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
How was your break? It was great until I stopped for gas. Prices have gone up almost $1 with no end in sight. I might have to start watching how much I drive.
That's exactly why I use Upside. I never pay full price for gas with the free Upside app.
Upside?
Yes, Upside. It's the free app that gives you cash back just for buying the gas you're already buying. So even with the rising gas prices, I'll never have to limit how much I drive.
Does that actually add up to anything?
Just last year, I made over $200 with the Upside app.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Upside app right now.
Download the free Upside app to earn cash back on the gas you're already buying. Use promo code THRIVE25 for an extra 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank account, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code THRIVE25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first fill-up. That's THRIVE25.
Offers vary by user and location. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bump and Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
As a reminder, we got the dugout coming from 1 to 2 All Mariners. So what I need to know is up in an hour. Get your questions in 866-979-3776. Talking Mariners in 15 with Jim Bowden right now. Let's head to the station for Hype Train. Speaking of the Mariners, your first train in, the Mariners offense will heat up before they get back to Seattle. 2 more games.
Before, all right, we saw Cal go yard. 2 hits yesterday. That's not a lot, Stacey. Not enough to typically win ball games. But I feel like they're close. I was looking at some exit velos, and some are just being caught. And there's no way I'm going to put negative vibes out on this team right now, anybody. Right? We need this team to get hot. They're going to get hot. Julio's going to hit a bomb tonight. I'm on the train. I don't care who's on the mound. Let's just do it. Come on, boys.
The offense for the Mariners will heat up before they get back to Seattle, which means in the next 2 games. Bump is boarding. Curtis, are you? Tough pitching matchups here.
Tough pitching matchups, but tonight's starter Ethan Eovaldi has struggled to start this season. He got blown up in his first game against the Phillies back on March 26th, gave up 5 runs in 4 2/3. And then his next start gave up 6 runs against the Orioles in 4 innings pitched. Hasn't made a start at home this year. Rangers Stadium is a little bit better on pitchers. Does he have a 3rd bad start in a row in him? It's tough to say because Eovaldi's been one of the more consistent pitchers throughout his career in Major League Baseball. but I think it happens tonight. The Mariners put up a crooked number on them. They heat up offensively. I say they score 7 runs tonight.
Wow.
So we're boarding that train. You heard it here first.
Heat up. I don't think it's going to massively turn on. But when I think heating up, I think it's not straight to a boil. You know what I mean? We're turning it on.
Right, it takes time to get
to a boil. It takes time. It's warming.
Yeah.
It's warming to get there. So that I'm boarding. I'm believing in that.
Good for the Seattle Mariners.
That's exactly right. I don't think that you can just randomly fix all your problems. But I don't know. Over the last couple games, I've seen 1 or 2 moments from Cal, from Julio, from whoever, where you go, well, maybe that looked a little bit better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just little glimpses.
Yeah. Next up. Speaking of a cold start, the WBC is the biggest factor for the slow start for the Mariners.
The biggest factor.
This is the big debate here.
It is the big debate. You put out some good points. Look, you got
all my points are great.
The Mets, and the Dodgers have the most representatives in the WBC, and both are struggling. The Dodgers have the worst batting average in baseball right now as a team. Say what you want about batting averages. But I believe that if your routine is jacked up, if your prep ain't the same, why would you expect the same type of results, even though we are still kind of getting the same results because they're struggling right now? It's complicated. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to go out there and say, yeah, time away from the team. WBC, jacked my guy Cal up. He got more pitches last night than he did all at WBC. Yes, I'm on that train.
The WBC is the biggest factor in the slow start for the Mariners. Bump is boarding. Curtis, you think it's something else? Bad luck? Cold weather?
The cold weather, I think, does have something to do with it. But, they've been playing in very warm Anaheim and also in Texas yesterday where the weather was good enough for them to open the lid to the stadium. So I don't know if weather is to explain, or I don't know if weather can explain the last, 4 games for the Mariners. I will say yes, the WBC is a factor in the slow start for the Mariners. We're boarding that train, specifically in the case of Cal, Julio, and Josh Naylor. All 3 played in the WBC. Cal didn't get his regular allotment of springtime at-bats, and it just kind of feels like all 3 of those guys are playing catch-up right now when these games matter, and it's tough watch sometimes.
At first, I felt like it was just an excuse, but I am sold on this theory. All aboard this one. Not good for the Mariners, so no Jeff needed here because this is obviously a slow start no one likes to see. I think the fact that the Mets are right next to the Mariners and drop off in hard hit percentage is convincing considering the number of players both teams had. And I know that also includes bullpen guys and starter. I get that, but both teams had quite a few players in the WBC are having kind of weird starts. I don't know, man. It feels right to me. Next up. Jadarian Price is a Seahawk on April 23rd. Now, that's round 1. Round 1 of the NFL draft.
That's the one name. Obviously, we're going to look at a whole bunch of names in this draft, but the ones that affect the Hawks the most. Every time I hear dun, 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 I'm going to hope it is not Jadarian Price, because if he is there, I believe they will and should take him. So, again, I'm putting out the vibes.
Okay.
And I'm going to say yes.
Okay.
I'm on this train. He will be there and he will be picked.
Notre Dame running back Jadarian Price, mocked to Seattle in Peter Schrager's latest for ESPN, is a Seahawk on April 23rd. Bump is boarding. Curtis, are you?
The problem is if you don't trade up for Jeremiah Love, you may not get any other shot at drafting a running back just because Price is the consensus number 2 guy in the class. And if he's not there at 32, then I don't think he's going to be a Seahawk. But I do think that the Seahawks recognize that running back is their biggest need, just as offensive line was their biggest need heading into last year's draft. And it just so happens that Price is a pretty talented guy in his own right. I think the Seahawks do make that happen, and he is a Seahawk by some miraculous way on April 23rd. So we're going to board this train.
Okay.
Jadarian Price, welcome to Seattle.
I'm not boarding because I think Jadarian Price is a Seahawk on April 24th. I think the Seahawks
second round
trade back and get him early. I'm talking like, you're looking at 36, 7, 8, 9, whoever's around there. I think that he doesn't fall far, but maybe you get like a good edge rusher slip or something kind of unexpected happens at the end of the draft and a team wants to trade back in. I just have such a hard time seeing John Schneider standing pat at 32. The last one we won't do, but it was going to be grilled cheese is the most underrated sandwich. I still don't know that you'd board, though, Bump.
Most underrated?
Most underrated sandwich. Whoever thinks like, man, I could really use a grilled cheese right now. No one thinks
when I was a kid.
But never with tomato soup.
Never with tomato soup.
Yeah.
Sure.
They're amazing. You're listening to Bump and Stacy on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app. Talking Mariners with Jim Bowden next.
You can stream every pitch of every inning of every game all season long. Oh, and it's completely free.
It's a tremendous catch.
Only on the Seattle Sports app. That's right. The free Seattle Sports app puts every single Mariners game right in the palm of your hand.
On a platter, come and get it.
One app, every game. Plus the latest Mariners news, insider access, video, and podcast.
Holy smokes, what a play!
Pretty awesome, right? Just like the Mariners.
What does baseball and Klein Jewelers have in common? Diamonds, of course. Hi, Andy Klein here. Sure, we love baseball, but we love diamonds even more. Why? Because our diamonds sparkle and last longer than 9 innings. Every diamond is hand-selected for maximum brilliance, quality, and value. Klein Jewelers by the Fountain in downtown Edmonds also has a big selection of engagement rings, wedding bands, diamond and gemstone fashion jewelry, and one-of-a-kind custom designs. Swing for the fences and shine with Klein.
Big Trees provides professional tree transplant services, helping you keep the trees you love right where they belong. Don't let construction, remodeling, or changing landscapes cause a headache. Big Trees moves your cherished trees safely so you can keep those memories growing strong. With decades of experience, Big Trees knows how to move trees safely and successfully. Up and away, get your tree transplanted today. See more of their transplanting process at bigtreesupply.com.
Your windows and doors play a huge role in your home's efficiency and comfort. Choose Lake Washington Windows and Doors for windows that are up to 25% more energy efficient than Energy Star standards and reduce noise by up to 50%. Visit lakewashingtonwindows.com today.
Need some TLC for your hybrid or EV? A&M Auto Repair in Bellevue gives you fast, cost-effective, guaranteed service. Go to myevpros.com or call 425-96-EV-FIX. A&M Auto Repair treats you fair and square.
This is Brock Eward. Seastar Restaurant and Raw Bar is celebrating 24 years as Bellevue's go-to for fresh, seasonal seafood, and me and my family's as well. My good friend Chef John Howie delivers excellence behind every single plate, and it doesn't matter. Local oysters, sushi, cedar plank salmon, generous portions, polished service, and meals that become lasting memories. Right now, 3-course dinners in the lounge, starting at just $50. Seastar, the dining experience you remember. SeastarRestaurant.com.
For over 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto Repair has been the one locals trust for honest pricing, expert service, and guaranteed repairs. This dedication has earned them a Carfax Preferred designation. At Bucky's, every customer gets detailed Carfax updates, timely service reminders, and a full service history, all at your fingertips. With 16 family-owned locations, no appointment needed, and easy financing, Bucky's makes auto care simple. Visit Bucky's.com today and drive with confidence. Bucky's.com.
Are you stuck staring at your W-2? Are tax refund worries holding you back? You probably have FOMO, the fear of messing up. The fix? Using TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They find every credit and deduction to help you get every refund dollar you deserve, or your money back. It's time to overcome your fear of messing up and get your taxes done right. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit info kit. 800-290-7100. That's 800-290-7100.
Ooh, that face. Quantum Fiber Internet loves that face.
That's Jamila.
Gauge Jamila.
She's thinking
outside the box, from inside the box.
Quantum fiber Wi-Fi keeps your meeting game strong. From the back door to the front lawn.
Rushing all of the video calls, back-to-back video calls.
Quantum fiber internet blowing the soxies of all those people in all those boxes. Yay to you.
Switch today at quantumfiber.com. Additional pods may be needed to achieve Wi-Fi coverage in some locations. Limited availability. Service in select locations only.
Are you looking for a job or perhaps a better job? We're hiring at Pacific Power Batteries with formal training about batteries of all types, customer service, and safety in the workplace. If you're tired of some crappy job where you are now, visit PacificPowerBatteries.com. After 90 days, you'll be eligible for a paid health insurance premium, a health savings account, our bonus program, paid vacation, and more. Or stop in and talk with a store manager at Pacific Power Batteries, where good people sell reliable batteries. Come on by.
Meet the company electrifying the marine industry. ARC, a fully electric boat that feels like a luxury EV. Significantly less maintenance and service, ARC is built to be as easy to operate as it is to maintain. Featuring heated seats and seat backs, a large display, easy handling, and impressive kick. You have to see it and experience ARC for yourself. Book a demo. They'll pick you up on Lake Washington, Lake Union, or Lake Sammamish if you can't come to them in Kirkland. Go to arcboats.com/demo. ARC. You have to see it to believe it.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
The Michigan Wolverines held off UConn to win its first men's hoops national championship since 1989. Final score 69-63. Michigan and Duke are early favorites for the title in 2027. The Mariners dropped their first of a 3-game series against the Rangers. The only good news here was Cal Raleigh getting his first home run of the season. Otherwise, bats went cold. Game 2 today at 5:05 p.m. George Kirby on the mound. Pre-game show starts at 4 p.m. right here on Seattle Sports.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time. From the Quantum Fiber Studio,
this is Bump and Stacy
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now.
Jim Bowden of the Athletic and MLB Network joining us now on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. Jim, how's it going?
Good, Stacy. Michael, how are you guys?
We're fantastic. Beautiful weather here, unfortunately. Kind of a cool start for the Mariners so far to start the season. Now, I would imagine most people are still very excited, but I am going to ask you, when a team is trying to compete for a World Series, not just like, hey, let's get a wild card and see how far we can take this thing, how soon do you start to expect them performing? Like, are slow starts fine and totally normal?
Yeah, I mean, look, you just want to stay in the race, but we have a long history of teams getting off to slow starts, and what matters is, what your record looks like at the end of the season and as you get ready for the postseason. I mean, I remember when the Atlanta Braves won their 14 straight divisional titles, I can't tell you how many times they were below 500 in late May, and everybody in Atlanta seemed to panic, and then all of a sudden Maddox, Glav, and Smoltz got locked in, and they would make their run and win the division and get back to October. So, if for the Mariners, I wouldn't really be worried about a slow start at all. I think I'd be encouraged the fact that the starting pitching looks really good. We all know that Julio Rodriguez always gets off their slow starts anyway. We weren't expecting Cal Raleigh to completely repeat what he did last year, but I think when you look at the Seattle team, to me, this team looks like a World Series caliber team, and so the key is not how you start, it's how you finish.
How closely have you been following Cal's ABs, and if so, what have you seen out of them?
Yeah, it's been interesting, right? Because he was cold during the World Baseball Classic as well, and then, had to share the catcher's duty during that time period with Will Smith, and then he's just been, the at-bats I've seen, he just seems really discombobulated. He doesn't seem to have balance, especially from the right side. Left side a little bit better. I've seen a couple of good swings from that side, but he's just not himself yet. But it's April 6th. I'm really not worried about a slow start from him either. He'll get going. It's just spring training with the World Baseball Classic is different for everybody, and when you're away from your regular routine in spring training, it affects you. And then, for them, they weren't playing games every single day, and then he wasn't even playing every day because he was platooning with Will Smith. And so he got a little bit out of sync and hasn't been able to get back in there yet. But I'm sure by the time the calendar turns to May, Cal Raleigh will be back in the MVP conversation again.
Wow. People are going to love hearing that final line. I'm going to ask something that you kind of answered a little bit, but just to kind of add on, I'm guessing, Jim, that being a catcher and also having two swings to work on can make those reps he didn't get even costlier.
Oh, yeah, there's no question about it. When you're away from camp and you're not catching your guys, yeah. And there's a lot, there's a lot to that, as you know. One of the best parts of this Mariners team is the starting pitching in the bullpen. And so it's key. So, there's a lot. And then, of course, we had the drama with Randy and the WVC that didn't help. So you had that little sidebar story. But, again, I'm not worried about it. This is one of those teams that you just know how good they are and you know where it's going to end up. I remember when I was a GM back in the mid-'90s, 1995 to be exact, we had a team that started 1-8, and I had all the media members asking if I was going to fire the manager, if I was going to step down, if I was going to trade all the players. And I said, no, this is a playoff team. I'm really not worried about it. And we ended up in the NLCS that year. So when I see a team like the Mariners, I treat them like I do the Yankees, like I do the Dodgers, which are, I'm not going to really look at your one-loss record right now. I know the talent you have. I know what you look like. I know your potential, and I know when I'm going to be covering you the most, and that's going to be in October.
How much do you think Colt Emerson will contribute to the squad this year?
I don't know. I certainly wouldn't rush it. You don't think you need to. I really have been impressed with the development of Cole Young at second base. We all know what J.P. Crawford is at shortstop, and Brendan Donovan's off to a really good start, and I love the traffic that he provides. So I wouldn't be in a rush with Colt. I think Colt will tell you when he's ready, and when he's ready, you're going to have to make room for him. I'm guessing with this particular team, it'll be third base when he makes it. With Crawford at short and Cole Young at second, and then Donovan would get used in that role where he'd play a little second, third, little left, little DH, move him around a little bit when that happens. But I don't think there's a rush for that at all. Just take your time. This kid's going to be a star for a long time. No reason to rush him because you don't have that need, at least right now you don't, at the major league level.
You had Jerry DiPoto on as a guest on MLB Network Radio back in March, and you asked him, just point blank, whether he'd be announcing a contract extension in the next couple days with one of his young starters. Was there a starter or two you kind of had in mind when you were asking him that?
Yeah, I want Brian Wu signed. Yeah, that's my guy. I want him signed first. But, yeah, I want them all signed, right? I love Logan Gilbert. I love George Kirby. I love this young group that he has. I love the group that's coming. Cade Anderson. I can't wait for him to get there at some point. They're 7 deep, and one of the things I'm so excited about is last year watching Seattle, I felt like some of the starting pitching had taken a little bit of a step backwards compared to where they had been a couple of years ago. And then this spring, encouraged with all the reports that we were getting. Luis Castillo's velo was back up. Emerson Hancock has developed a better breaking pitch. I just kept getting all these great scouting reports back for how the pitching looks. But yeah, to answer your question, I guess Wu, Gilbert would be my first two choices for extensions, but I like getting that pitching locked in, right? Because when you have that kind of starting pitching and defense, you become perennial contenders. And they've done a tremendous job in building this starting pitching, both at the major and minor league level, and then being able to keep it together long-term is just so important. So for me, it starts with Wu.
Jim, what do you think the Mariners can get out of Randy? He's such a Randy. He's such a streaky player. He's hot, he's cold, he makes plays in the outfield, he doesn't make a play. Where is he at in his career, and what should the Mariners expect from him?
Exactly what you just said, and I think we all know who Randy is. He's 20 homers and 20 steals. He will lift you up with a big contribution to a win, and he'll let you down with disappointments. Very inconsistent at the plate. That's not going to change. When the season's over, we're going to look up. We're going to see 20 homers. We're going to see 20 steals. Batting average is not going to be as good as we'd like it. But then in October, we always know every time he comes to the plate, he's got a chance to do something special because we all know he loves that biggest stage. He loves the big moments. And whatever he's got left in the tank in October, he is absolutely going to give it to you. But in the meantime, a lot of ups, a lot of downs. That's just the kind of player that he is. That's what he brings to the table. But he is a winning player, and he's a very, very good support player for Seattle.
I want to get back to that kind of embarrassment of riches that Seattle has with pitching. Emerson Hancock with a phenomenal start in his second of the season. A shame it didn't come with a win, but he's looked phenomenal. Now, whether or not he looks like that long term, we don't know. What we do know is he's filled in excellently for Miller. And because of that, Jim, we've had some questions from listeners going, what if you get to the deadline and, you aren't going to have a 6-man rotation? But I don't know. You would know, which is why I'm asking you. My gut tells me that, you never move on from having that much pitching when you want to be playing in October. How would you approach a deadline where you do have, let's say, an excellent guy as your 6th man? Is that a piece that you typically, as a GM, feel uncomfortable trading?
I mean, one of the things I love about Seattle is how deep the starting pitching is. There's going to be injuries. There's going to be regression. And you just need to be prepared for that. And the fact that you're 6 deep, if we include Hancock, you're 8 deep if we can include Cade Anderson and Ryan Sloan, which I choose to do. I don't want to trade any of those 8 guys. This is going to allow you to contend for the next several years because you have 8 of them. At some point you'll move on from Luis Castillo. At some point, one of them's going to blow out. And then all of a sudden 8's going to become 6. And then all of a sudden, someone's not going to be as good as you thought, and now you're down to 5. I mean, that's how quickly it happens. So for me, that's the one part of the Mariners team I'm not touching. You can't have those 8. Any of those 8 starters, you can't have them.
Hey, you've mentioned already, we've become accustomed to Julio just not having the start to the season that we've liked. 5th season, we know who he is. But is there any part of his game that you feel like if he could just take the next step, he can reach superstar status? He might be a superstar to some already, but is there something else you're seeing in him?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think that if he can learn to be consistent on a beginning to end season, there's no reason why he can't hit 40 homers, steal 40 bags, and be an MVP. There's no reason why he can't do that. All the talent is there for J-Rod to do it. But we haven't seen it yet. He hasn't been able to do it yet, and we're still waiting on it. I'm not sure it's going to be this year, but perhaps it's going to be next year. But I think it's going to come at some point. I think the more experience he gets, the better. I think it's really important they've surrounded him with Cal Raleigh and Josh Naylor. I think it's important that, he doesn't have to be the guy alone here. He's got help on both sides of him in that batting order. I think that helps him. Sometimes I look and I wonder if there isn't some more concentration and focus that he could have. But sometimes that comes with maturity and comes with age. But look, this kid's a superstar. The potential, as I said, is MVP. That's what it is.
Yordan Alvarez, AL Player of the Week, and I know that Seattle doesn't have Houston on the schedule just yet, though will a bit later on this month. But I wanted to ask you about an outlook for the AL West. The projections I saw had the Mariners winning the division pretty comfortably, but what do you think based on what you know about the division and what you've seen?
Yeah, I've got the Mariners and the Yankees as the 2 best teams in the American League. That was pre-start of the season. I've got them in the ALCS. I've got the Mariners winning the West, not close. I've got them ahead of both the Astros, Rangers, Athletics, Angels, kind of in that order. The thing about Houston is I'm not sure their starting pitching is good enough. I do think they can score enough runs. I think their defense is probably good enough. I think they have a lot of age risk in the right side of that infield. That's a little bit of a concern. I think there's some question marks in the outfield, but it's the rotation I'm worried about. And then, of course, they got the news over the weekend that Hunter Brown was placed on the IL with a strained shoulder. If that ends up, I haven't seen the MRI results from today yet, but if that ended up being serious, that would be a devastating blow for Houston. So, they're hoping Christian Javier and Lance McCullers Jr. can come back from injuries. They're hoping that Tatsuya Imai and Mike Burrows can be solid starters. I just don't see it. As we just talked about how 8 deep the Mariners are, I just don't see this Houston rotation in the second half of the season being able to keep up with Seattle. I think they probably can in the first half, but I think, the most important part about pitching is August and September, and I think that's when the Mariners pull away. This is a really, really good Mariners team that is better than the team we saw last year, and they've got a lot of youth that's developing, like Cole Young. Emerson's around the corner. Donovan adds traffic at the top of the lineup. Once Raleigh and J-Rod get going, watch out. So, yeah, I think I personally believe that the Mariners and Yankees are the two best teams in the league, and not by a little bit, by a little bit more than a little bit.
I like to hear that.
I like a little bit more than a little bit. I'm going to start using that one, Jeff.
Love to hear it. Hey, what do you think the approach with Cal should be? We know he wants to play every game. He wants to do that. But as you know, it's a long season, and that body wears down eventually. He's still a young man, but how would you handle him?
Yeah, I mean, look, I tend to pay attention. The game's a lot different than when I was GMing, right? So I do pay a lot of attention to this generation's medical group and the way they can do their testing and the way they can tell. And I think you got to take care of Cal Raleigh, and I think you've got to give him more days off, no matter how. I know he wants to play every day, and I know he wants to catch every day, but I think you need to take care of him. Last year was kind of difficult because every time he came to the plate, he was the MVP of the league and he hit 60 home runs. It's really hard if you're Dan Wilson to put him on the bench, but I think to take care of him long term. And I think, Seattle's kind of in a position like the Dodgers have been in, which is you should be able to have the luxury of preparing for October. And preparing for October means let's not wear out any of these guys. You have enough depth to win games anyway. So let's take care of them. So I guess that would be kind of the direction I would go. I would tend to lean on the let's rest them a lot more often than we did in the past, and let's make sure we have a very strong Cal Raleigh come October when we really want to run the table.
Jim, it's been refreshing to hear your confidence about not only the teams that you think and feel are going to be great, but just where the Mariners are in particular right now, because there's a lot of panic that we see, right, being closer to listeners and getting some of that feedback from fans. Is there like a PSA you wish you could say at the start of a season? Just like questions you get where you're like, oh my God, I'm so sick of these questions. Like, what do you find that people maybe who have never played and have never been in a front office like you, maybe still fundamentally, even if we're fans, still fundamentally misunderstand?
I mean, I've lived through it and I get it, right? When you're living it every day and you're losing, that's what's in front of you. And that's what you see. It's hard to take a step back and look at the full picture. I think someone like myself that has spent my life in the game understands, how long the season is and how things change and how you really, when you're a GM, you really have to trust the process. You have to trust the players. You know what they're capable of doing. And yes, it's a challenge to always get the peak performance from everybody, but you have an idea what's there. So you don't really go through the ups and downs that the media or the fans go through. I understand what they're going through because we see the same thing. I just think when you have a lot more experience having dealt with it, good, bad, and ugly, that you kind of have a better understanding that is all part of the ride for everybody. And there's a reason why every single year, every team's going to lose 50 games, no matter how good you are, or at least almost every year, and there's a reason for that. So that's going to happen. So you're going to have some of these losses, and you don't know what month it's going to be. You're going to have some good months, you're going to have some bad months. But I think, I think it's important to just take a step back and look at a team and say, what is this team, and what's it going to be, and who's underachieving, and who's overachieving, and how's that going to correct itself? That doesn't mean that there's not going to be changes needed. That doesn't mean that, Seattle might not need another bat between now and the August 3rd trade deadline. One of the things I've always told people is that when you're in a front office, you spend the first 2 months of the season evaluating what you have. You spend the next 2 months in the season trying to add to those pieces that you need to be a world champion. And then you spend the final 2 months getting ready for October baseball. So, we're just in the beginning of those first 2 months. And, everyone's going to overreact. I get it. Magnifying glasses are out. The microscopes are out. We're all staring at it. We're looking at all these at-bats. And all of a sudden, someone gets in a slump. We're like, oh, I think he's done. Age and decline have gotten him. Just I think with today's, metrics and analytics, it's a lot easier to be able to measure if a slump could be real or not real. Like, we can study the bat speed. We can, study the barrel awareness, the percent on the sweet spot. We can measure a lot of that stuff, which I think helps with that. But still, there's nothing worse than, you're a fan and your team loses a couple in a row, and it's like, the end is near.
Read his work at The Athletic. You can also hear him at MLB Network Radio. It is Jim Bowden. Thanks, Jim.
Thanks, Jim.
Pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Have a good one. Don't forget, you can download the Seattle Sports app to listen to every Mariners game on one app, and it's completely free. You can take the game with you on the go when you're out running errands, at Little League practice, on a hike, on the boat, wherever. The Seattle Sports app travels with you. You can enjoy every pitch of Rick Riz's final season all in one place at no cost. Did I mention it's free? It's the easiest way to enjoy Seattle Mariners baseball. Let's get to headline rewrites.
Extra, extra,
Headline rewrites.
We must make headlines.
The real story behind the headlines in today's news.
Powered by Bay Alarm Security Services.
With Bump Stacy.
Headline number one, Michigan took home their second national championship last night with a 69-63 win over UConn. What's the real headline?
Congratulations to the Wolverines, who ended their NCAA championship drought of 26 months. That's tough. Not since '89 for Ben's Hoops, though, so that's something.
2-year-olds who have never seen
Michigan win a championship before. I really did. So I was pleasantly surprised that UConn kept this one close, but you guys, I really thought that UConn would make it interesting late and then just missed opportunities there.
There are a couple of turnovers at the end of the game that kind of shifted some things or could have shifted some things. They just couldn't finish, man. Both teams didn't shoot well. It's like 31% and 38%, less than 20% from three. This was a scrappy game, and this Michigan team is the modern team. You have five different starters, 5 different schools last year. They're all transfers, and they won. And it was reflected in the celebration.
Yeah.
They don't know each other like that.
Curtis, you didn't like the celebration, or lack thereof, rather.
It just felt very muted. I mean, you're winning a national championship. I'm crying. I'm dogpiling. I'm going nuts with my guys, but it just kind of like, all right, let's move on to the rest of the festivities.
Well, and to Bump's point, they don't know each other.
Yeah. How about this wild stat about Terrace Reed, the starting center for UConn, started his college career at Michigan, finished it at UConn, spent 4 years between the two schools, came away with no championship. When those schools have won 3 of the last 4.
I'd be convinced that, I have bad luck. Something is wrong with me. I'd be like, it's me. And for that matter, I'd be like, I'd be Michigan trying to get him to go to UConn. Well, he can't anymore, but.
Yeah, he's out of eligibility.
Out of eligibility, but still.
Ringless.
Something that I was going to ask you guys. I don't think the answer to this is Michigan, even though my headline rewrite joke was about them having won in football 2 years ago. What do you think is the most spoiled fan base in sports?
I mean, right now maybe the Dodgers.
Dodgers?
Right now?
Patriots for the longest time were a prime candidate. I think it's the Dodgers.
And the Chiefs. They had a down year last year.
And the thing with the Chiefs is, even in years, excluding years when they won the Super Bowl, there's still years when you won the AFC and advanced to the Super Bowl when you were just dominant. And Patrick Mahomes is 30?
You know you have a chance every year.
Every year. He's not going anywhere.
No.
Yeah, Chiefs. Oh, that's a good one. For the longest time, it was Patriots. I think the Chiefs and Dodgers, you're right, are taking it. And I think Chiefs over Dodgers right now. Because Dodgers back-to-back is crazy, and constantly getting the best stars is great, but Chiefs were
The Chiefs were down last year.
But you think they're coming back?
Yeah, they'll be back, sure.
No doubt.
K9 over there.
Next up.
Headline rewrites.
Headline number 2, Myles Garrett will not be attending the Browns off-season program. What's the real headline?
Oh, Myles Garrett trade watch is so back. So back.
He doesn't believe in in Cleveland's off-season program. And he has all the resources in the world. He's going to come in ready. But you would like your big dogs to show up. Lamar showed up to Baltimore's non-mandatory workouts to kind of send a message, right? You got a new head coach over there in Cleveland as well. So you would hope Myles Garrett is there, but I'll tell you one thing, is he will show up in shape and ready to go.
I just know that this will inevitably mean, especially leading up to the draft, that trade talks, whether or not they're warranted, and they're most likely not, are still going to ramp up. What I think it means is, like you said, that sometimes there are veterans that just view it as like, I don't need it. During Russell Wilson's end of his career, weren't him and DK and a couple other guys working in California away from Seattle during this time of the year? Like, you just get to a certain point in your career where you're like, I don't have to do all this, which you guys do. But given where Cleveland is, and is probably going to be in 2026, and Myles Garrett's reported unhappiness with the organization, I think it's just natural that people are going to wonder what this means. It'll just happen again. Let's skip this last one. You're listening to Bump and Stacy on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app. Coming up, a Husky's getting some love from one of the biggest voices in the NFL.
Brock and Salk, morning 6 to 10.
There's no one reason why they're 4-6 other than they're not hitting. I mean, this is a pretty familiar story. Heading into the game yesterday, they were 28th in batting average. They only had 8 home runs, which have mostly come in bunches. They were 25th in OPS.
I'd be hard-pressed to find any other answer than that.
The expectations, I do think, are a problem.
And all the expectations and all that comes with it, that's a new place to live.
Only on Seattle Sports, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
Yo, what's up? It's Michael Bumpus. I got to talk to you guys about something. The sun is out. It is time to go play some golf. I need you to go to Loomis Trails Golf Course. There's water everywhere. Hit the ball straight, but it's a great time when you're done. You go to Silver Reef Casino, man. They got the steakhouse. I love it there. The food is on point, but also they got this promotion going. It's called Road to Riches Promotion. Silver Reef is celebrating their anniversary month, and you could win a 2026 Mercedes-Benz GLC 300 all-wheel drive on April 25th. That is on April 25th, so you got some things to do. You go to the golf course, you get something to eat, and then you enter this Road to Riches promotion. How do you get to Silver Reef Casino? You go up I-5 exit 260, Silver Reef Casino Resort. They got deluxe rooms. It's a great place to go hang out. Book your stay at silverreefcasino.com. One more time for you, that is silverreefcasino.com.
Well, spring is all about getting ready for summer, isn't it? But do you have a room just sitting empty and you've dreamt of making it your own home gym? Hey, Brock Heward here, and working out in your own home, well, it is the best. We've been doing so for years, and you can allow Top Fitness to create your own home gym. Simply give them your room dimensions, and they'll do the rest. A complete fitness room design. It's no secret why everyone, from personal trainers to pro athletes, love Top Fitness. Top Fitness represents the very best brands in fitness, like Precor, Inspire Fitness, along with many others. They also have everything from flooring to weights that go in a home gym. And right now, get spring special financing with 0% interest for 12 months, plus mention me and receive an $150 credit towards any purchase over $1,000. Spring is here to get you in the best shape, so go get into Top Fitness with locations in Tukwila, Linwood, and Bellevue, or simply visit topfitness.com for more info. That's Top Fitness, your best place for home fitness equipment.
Hey, baseball fans, Rick Riz here. I'm excited to introduce you to my good friend Keith Dashafy, owner of Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Keith?
Thanks, Rick. Improve your play with 25% off windows and doors, or 12 months, no payments, and no interest. And we're giving back with 2 $5,000 scholarships for our local youth sports teams. Upgrade your home at PellaPNW.com.
That's fantastic, Keith. Don't wait. Schedule your free appointment today at PellaPNW.com.
Hey, what a surprise. We got tons of rain here in the Northwest in the late winter into the spring. It all adds up. Now's the time of the year when the ground becomes completely saturated with water, and that can cause real problems in your crawl space. It's Mike Salk here, and groundwater intrusion in crawl spaces, it's pretty common, but it's got to be addressed before it causes structural damage, or even worse, toxic mold in your home. You don't want any part of that. That's why if you're worried about any groundwater in your crawl space, you call Crawl Pros and you get a free corner-to-corner inspection. They'll climb into that crawl space, see what the condition is. They will go where you don't want to, definitely where I didn't want to. They came to my house and handled all this stuff. If they find water, they'll install a groundwater drainage system and a sump pump and reroute that water outside your home's footprint where it belongs. Don't take the risk. Do what I did. Have Crawl Pros come out for that free corner-to-corner inspection. They'll even check your attic at the same time. If you're worried that anything is going on with your crawl space or attic, call Crawl Pros or visit crawlpros.com.
Mariners and Rangers tonight in Arlington. First pitch at 5:05. Pregame at 4. Hear every pitch live for free on the Seattle Sports app.
Gold demand is skyrocketing to record highs. As more Americans rush to preserve their savings, will there be enough gold? I'm Dr. Ron Paul, and I believe physical gold is the only way to truly protect your 401k or IRA savings. Gold offers tangible security that can't be tracked, stolen, or inflated. That's why I strongly advocate for gold IRAs. To learn more, text the word SECURE to 989898 now. Birch Gold Group will send you a free info kit on gold IRAs. Birch Gold is the only gold company I trust, and their thousands of great reviews prove I'm not alone. So don't wait another second. Protect your retirement savings today and see how easy it is to move your IRA or 401k into physical precious metals. Text SECURE to the number 989898 for your free gold IRA info kit. Again, SECURE to 989898.
Message and data rates may apply. Taxes was feeling so stuck. Sitting in traffic, squeezing into a parking spot, all to squeeze in getting tax help during your lunch break. Now Taxes is a TurboTax expert who does your taxes for you, while you go about your day getting real-time notifications about their progress and the most money back guaranteed. Now this is Taxes. Intuit TurboTax. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Only available with TurboTax experts. Real-time updates only in iOS mobile app.
Wait, everything on this IHOP value menu is just $6?
I told you it was amazing. A huge plate of pancakes, bacon, and eggs is just $6.
Wow.
There's also French toast, a ham and cheese omelet, and oh, they got a BLT and fries now.
Okay, we're coming here every day.
You don't have to tell me twice.
Feast for just $6 with the IHOP value menu. $7 in some locations, available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio,
This is Bump Stacy.
weekdays 10 to 2
on Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
At this time of the year, we all wonder what to make of guys who don't report for voluntary off-season workouts. First, we were talking about Myles Garrett. Now we're on to another. Dolphins running back Devon Achane did not report to Miami's first day of workouts. Again, these are not mandatory workouts, not uncommon for veterans to miss them. Though, when you're a team like Miami that really wants to focus on culture building, it's also not a great sign.
It ain't that big of a deal to me.
It's not?
Nah, I get it.
It is a little bit
I get it
to
from
me.
the outside. Like, oh, you want your guys there. You know what these are? You're just working out. All right, you're not even like running plays. You know, you're just working out. I get why people will blow this up because you want your players there, and it is better for them to be there than not to be there, for sure. They're just working out. Like, sure, coaches will prefer, but they're not tripping. They're like, oh, my God, Chef, what are we going to do? He's not here.
And now he's in I don't know that it has risen to a contract holdout or dispute with Miami, but he does have to think about his own health now in the final year of his deal. So he's looking for an extension, obviously trying to send a sign that, like, I don't know that it's like, I'll hold out, but I think it's a little bit of like
it's more just, I'm not going
to put myself at risk as willingly.
It's not even risk. You're just lifting weights. You know what I mean? I think it's more just, I'm not going to comply with everything that you guys want me to do because I'm not completely satisfied with my situation.
Yeah.
But it's not like he's like, they're running plays and all that stuff. No. But I get it.
It is one of those weird spots that players find themselves in where, on the one hand, a team is rebuilding and clearly not competing right away. On the other hand, they seem very unwilling to trade you, but aren't giving you that new contract. So weird situation. Kind of keeping an eye on that one. The Ringer's Todd McShay told the Rich Eisen show he's very high on a Washington Husky heading into this month's draft.
The guy that everyone's sleeping on at this point, it was like a hot name early, and no one. I look at Jonah Coleman and I watch his run style after I watch all the running backs, right? I came back and I watched him. He's a bowling ball. He's got these light feet. He always runs with pad level. He wears you down. He brings this energy to an offense. I think in a running back class, it's not like a year ago where we had 26 guys go, 6 in the first 3 rounds, 20 on day 3. I think he'll probably fall to the 4th round, and I think a team's going to get a starter.
Could the Seahawks be getting that guy?
They could be. I'm glad he mentioned Jonah because remember when the season started, He went for $177 against Colorado State, 2 touchdowns,
Yeah.
5 touchdowns against UC Davis,
I was
2
convinced.
touchdowns against WSU. We're thinking this dude's about to have one of the
Yep.
greatest seasons we've ever
Yep.
seen. And then things kind of slowed down a little bit. He's 5'9", 228 pounds, and can move. I love that he mentioned Jonah Coleman. I think he is one of the better running backs in a running back pool that's not very deep. Yeah, you could get a start in this dude.
Going to New York, does Dexter Lawrence really want out, or is it a trade request that's just a leverage play against the Giants? NFL Network's Ian Rappaport says Lawrence actually just wants a new deal.
Best case scenario for both sides is for a contract situation that makes Dexter Lawrence and the Giants happy. In other words, a new deal where everyone can agree this guy who's been basically the face of their defense for the last several years, one of the best defensive linemen in the NFL, at times the best defensive lineman in the NFL, that puts him in a Giants uniform for years to come. That would be the best case scenario. A trade would come, one, if the Giants decided they wanted to part way with one of their great defenders who wreaks havoc in the middle of their defense, and two, if another team wanted to pay for a 28-year-old defender making $20 million, who, as you mentioned, Tom, is not coming off his best season.
And am I an idiot in thinking that, well, not a straight up no-brainer, the way that, like, I don't know, extending JSN is for Seattle. This is clearly a player it is in the best interest of the Giants to retain.
Yeah, but they're going to use him not having the greatest season this past season against him, right? And then try to use it as leverage.
$million.
Yeah, and he's got to get his money. He's 29 years of age. It's time. This is probably the last time you're really going to get paid. He has made $72 million in his career so far. No, they're supposed to be here at this point in his career. This is normal.
How would you classify where the Giants are right now? With a new coach and a bad season, you'd say they're rebuilding, but their bad season was also due in part to injuries, a lack of development, probably not great coaching or great GM decisions, but John Harbaugh's established, Cam Scatteraboo and Jackson Dart are young. I feel like they're kind of a team that could prematurely hit the scene. And, you know, the people are like, what if they surprise you?
Yeah, I think these are one of those teams that you have to watch. You got Neighbors over there who's getting healthy. Scatterable, you mentioned. You bring over Isaiah Likely from tight end over there with the Ravens with Harbaugh as well. Defensively, Dexter Lawrence. I mean, Trey Edmonds. On paper, this should be a good team, but leadership matters. So hopefully Harbaugh coming over here, giving them some stability, will allow them to win a few more games.
All right, well, maybe they do just get a deal done with Dexter Lawrence, and that's all this is. But there is another name they could potentially move, also on defense. Kayvon Thibodeau. Giants head coach John Harbaugh was asked about New York planning to move on from its pass rusher.
Kayvon, his name has come up in trade talks. How do you view him? Do you view him as, piece of the foundation, or do you think he's a guy who could be traded?
I think he's a great player. I'm excited about him. I was fired up to see him today. He looks great. He's in great shape. And, I'm thinking about him on the field. I'm thinking about getting him plugged into our defense and getting him rolling. I think, you want to talk about, like, well, is he a trade possibility? Everybody's tradable. Everybody, even you're tradable, Dan. We will get something for you. We trade you in a heartbeat, man. But, it's not really what you focus on. You focus on the fact that we're having a day. We're talking ball. We're getting our team is coming together as a team. And the business part of it, is the business part. And that kind of swirls around us. But we try to lock in on the football.
I thought Kayvon Thibodeau would be more of a wrecking ball than it ended up being.
Yeah, one good year in 2023. 11.5 sacks, 3 forced fumbles. That's when you kind of thought he was going to turn that corner, and then production just gone down year after year. Played 12 games in 2024, 10 in 2025. If you were to trade him, now's the time to do it, because he's young enough to where people are still going to be like, hey, maybe he goes to a new situation, gets rejuvenated, he's good to go. I would explore it if I were the Giants. You can get some more draft picks out of this thing here too. Yeah, why not?
Is there a world where Bobby Wagner ends up being a Cowboy in 2026? Maybe. Head coach Brian Schottenheimer was asked on Up and Adams about potentially bringing in the future Hall of Famer, and sounded pretty interesting.
What conversations have you had about Bobby Wagner?
Well, I will say this. Number one, we've made some really strong runs at inside linebackers. It hasn't worked out. You're looking at one of the biggest Bobby Wagner fans in the world. Being in Seattle with him for 3 years and watching him compete and just talk trash in a good way, I love that guy. And he's still playing at a high level. So we'll see how everything works out. It's an exciting time of year, but Bobby Wagner, total stud.
Look, I'll say this. I don't love the Cowboys. I don't like the Cowboys. I'm not mad at Bobby Wagner as a Cowboy, given what that defense needs.
No, not at all. And Shotty knows him and loves him. And there's a start. If you got your head coach over there vouching for you, I'm sure Jerry's going to take a listen. And it's all about improving that defense anyway. Bobby still makes a lot of tackles. He's not meeting linemen at the line of scrimmage like he used to. That's just what Father Time does. But he's a reliable football player, and I could see him suiting up for the Cowboys.
The Ravens are doing something new. They announced they're going to unveil new uniforms on April 16th. Why does this matter? I know we're in Seattle and we don't care, but it's kind of interesting. They've not had a major rebranding at all since moving to Baltimore in 1996, 47 years ago.
They're one of the more identified. I mean, we love football, so we can identify all these uniforms, right? But theirs is one that's just been after generation, every 10 years. It's solid. And there's no reason to change it. So I wonder what direction they're going to go with this.
I'm actually really curious about it. Curtis, are there like leaks or kind of like, I always hate it when they're like, you won't believe what it's going to be. And you look at it and it's one of those games where you're trying to spot the difference between two things. That's always a bummer.
No leaks that I've seen. So I think this guy, Zach Cohen, FB, who tries to kind of piece things together in terms of like uni releases on social media.
His own Curtis Conspiracy Corner.
Yeah. So he said iridescent accents. So kind of like the Seahawks green helmets, sort of that like shimmery stuff. Wings and talons referenced in the design.
Talons.
Do these chickens have large talons? And then Baltimore written out on the chest of the jersey in at least one uniform.
I think they should have talons on the cleats. Like
because talons on the cleats. I mean, technically they
you know
do
what
already.
I mean?
They're cleats,
no,
so.
I know, but like what if coming out the front, you know what I mean? Like if you had dinosaur slippers.
Dangerous.
Just think about it. Think about it.
So next week we will see this brand new Ravens uniform.
Curious to see it. You're listening to Bump and Stacy on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app. Coming up at 1, it is the Dugout. Mariners insider Shannon Drayer joining us from Arlington. So before we get to it, get your questions in for What I Need to Know. Any question, text it now, 866-979-3776.
There she goes. Goodbye, baseball. Number 1 for Cal Raleigh.
Despite Cal's first bomb of the season, the Mariners dropped their third straight in last night's opener in Arlington. With George Kirby on the mound tonight, can the M's pick up a much-needed win?
You gotta be able to do the little things right. You gotta grind out at bats.
Mariners and Rangers Game 2, 5:05 first pitch, pregame at 4. Listen live anywhere for free on the Seattle Sports app. One app, every Mariners game.
You're losing your hair and you simply need a solution that works. You want the best. Modern technology, top-rated physicians, something that's guaranteed to work. Guys, you need world-class Dr. Perungo and his team at Advanced Hair. Advanced Hair has completely redefined hair restoration. From the experience itself to their unmatched results. Receding hairline, bald spot, thinning hair, maybe all three like I had. Get your hair back with Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment that begins to regrow your own natural hair the very next day. Advanced Hair has changed tens of thousands of lives, including mine. And get this, Advanced Hair is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. For your free consultation, call 425-449-8185. Right now, you'll get $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. Refine your hairline with the team that redefined hair restoration. That's 425-449-8185. Or for the before and afters, visit advancedhair.com.
Your windows and doors play a huge role in your home's efficiency and comfort. Choose Lake Washington Windows and Doors for windows that are up to 25% more energy efficient than Energy Star standards and reduce noise by up to 50%. Visit lakewashingtonwindows.com today.
Your new home for Tesla, EV, and hybrid maintenance is A&M Auto Repair in Bellevue with dealer-level diagnostics, electrical, mechanical, and suspension repairs. Find A&M Auto Repair in Bellevue online at myevpros.com or 425-96-EV-FIX.
The stock market was on fire in 2025 due to AI and tech stocks. Now is the time to set a strategy for 2026. It's a good opportunity to lock in those gains and invest into a stable platform. With $8 trillion in cash sitting on the sidelines, investors are either scared or unsure where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rurecka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with zero investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
The Chase Ink Business Premier Card is made for people who make things happen, like me. I'm Sam, founder and CEO of Manifest, a product design company that makes everyday products designed smarter. I get 2.5% cash back on purchases of $5,000 or more, plus unlimited 2% cash back on all other purchases, which helps us make more smart ideas into a brilliant reality.
The Ink Business Premier Card. Chase for business. Make more of what's yours. Real business owner compensated for their participation. Cards issued by J.P. Morgan Chase Bank. N.A. member FDIC. Subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
Hi, Chuck here at Frank Lumber, the door store. One of our most popular services is our match-up service, where we use your old door as a template to create a new door in your existing frame. Whether you need an interior or exterior door, this is a great way to change out your doors DIY style. And as long as we have what you need in stock, we currently have available space without a long wait for our same-day match-up service. Please visit us in Shoreline, where there's plenty of good parking. Also, check us out online at franklumber.com.
Mariners and Rangers tonight in Arlington. First pitch at 5:05. Pregame at 4. Hear every pitch live for free on the Seattle Sports app.
Hey homeowners, are you stuck on the credit card treadmill and stressed because your consumer debt and monthly payments are too high? Well, Brock Hewitt here with a smart solution. Your home's equity in the Seattle Metro is probably larger than ever. It's like you're sitting on a stack of cash. Consider a cash-out refinance with Tila Mortgage to consolidate your high-balance credit cards, second mortgages, home equity lines of credit, and student loans, or get cash for a remodel. With interest rates finally coming down, consolidating your debt now may be the best decision you ever make. With excellent client reviews and trusted in Washington for over 25 years, Tila has competitive rates on refinance, purchase, or reverse mortgages too. Tila, spelled T-I-L-A, is a name you can trust for truthful, honest, and ethical advice for all your mortgage needs. Call Tila Mortgage today, 206-766-8888. That's 206-766-8888 or
TilaMortgage.com. Tila Mortgage LLC is a mortgage broker. NMLS 2472046.
Meet the company electrifying the marine industry. ARC, a fully electric boat that feels like a luxury EV. Significantly less maintenance and service, ARC is built to be as easy to operate as it is to maintain. Featuring heated seats and seat backs, a large display, easy handling, and impressive kick. You have to see it and experience ARC for yourself. Book a demo. They'll pick you up on Lake Washington, Lake Union, or Lake Sammamish if you can't come to them in Kirkland. Go to arcboats.com/demo. ARC. You have to see it to believe it.
Hello, Seattle. Bank of America, in partnership with Visa, invites you to a FIFA World Cup 26 watch party. Open an eligible Bank of America checking account in participating financial centers only for an opportunity to reserve 2 complimentary tickets while supplies last. Experience special musical guests, games, giveaways, food, and more, all at a legendary venue. Learn more at BofA.com/BofA Visa Watch Party. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America, proud to be the official bank of FIFA World Cup 26. Bank of America and a member FDIC. Terms apply. All rights reserved.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Bump and Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2
on Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Coming up in 15 minutes, it's the Dugout All Mariners from 1 to 2. We're going to be joined by Gary Hill at 1:30. Shannon Drayer's kicking things off with us at 1 from Arlington. Before we get to that, it's what I need to know. Get your questions in now. 866-979-3776. Bump, says the 360, I had a round of 93. Hope for 75. Should I quit?
A round of 73?
I think so. I think you should quit.
Nah, keep chasing it, baby. Round of 93. Hope for 75. Okay. Nah, man, you keep grinding.
Nope.
Keep at it.
Nope.
I shot 90-something the other day, man. I wanted to just ball up and cry. But you know what? I woke up the next day. And I picked up my clubs and I said, you know what? We'll get at this again. Don't trip.
You got a little bit stronger.
A little bit stronger.
Yeah, exactly. You grew from that.
I did.
What I need to know, who are you guys rooting for on Survivor and who do you think will win?
I'm rooting for Surrey.
Well, yeah, always.
I think that's the one notch missing from her resume is a Survivor victory.
I'm afraid of spoiler. Like, what if people are an episode or two behind? Because there's been quite a few people who've gone home the last 5 episodes, or 2 episodes.
That's true.
5 people.
Yeah. I mean, they needed to slim down the cast a little bit here because they had like a cast of 24, and it's only 26-day season now.
Yeah. I will say I enjoyed Christian a lot.
Yeah.
And he's getting a lot of narration time.
He is. That's how you can tell who might have a big say in how the season goes.
So
I have forgotten how great of TV Coach is. He's tremendous.
Yeah.
He'll never win, but he's just so absurd and out there.
I think it's a great cast.
Yeah.
Some people haven't liked this season at all, but I've thought it's been.
I've enjoyed it.
Incredibly watchable.
It's been great.
Bumps loved it.
Yeah.
What I need to know. Mike Lefko called part of a Mariners game in spring training. Any chance he and the rest of Seattle sports could call an inning or more during the regular season? Maybe even get Steve Rabel in honor of Rick Riz's retirement season. You guys don't want me anywhere near the mic during a Mariners game.
Or do we?
No.
I think she freeze.
I think I'd freeze up. I'd say we got runners on the corners.
You know what almost happened?
2 on, 2 out, 1, 2 count. Oh my God, is he okay? And then I'd turn to you. Are you mad at me?
During the Super Bowl, we're getting ready for the kickoff. Pre-game show's already done. Nas comes up to me. He goes, "Hey, Bump, Rabel and Wyman are stuck in the elevator. You might have to call the kickoff." I'm like, "Let's go!" I'm getting hyped. I'm like, "Rabes, I hope you're okay. Just take your time in the elevator." You know what I'm saying? And then literally like 30 seconds before kickoff, he walks in. I look at him. I said, "Rabes, killing my dreams, dog."
That's not.
He's gave me a pat on the shoulder and said, "All right, Bump, I'm here."
That's not me. That's not me.
That would have been awesome.
I'd be like, is there anyone else? Are you positive? Can you do it? Like, is there anyone else who's here? Which elevator are they in? Let's go get them. Let's go break them out of there.
Can the NFL stop this? Can you guys pause?
Can we pause? Can we just hit pause on? Do you want me to go out there and just ask them? I'll go ask them.
Who was it that sang the national anthem? Coco Jones? Coco, take 5.
Hang on.
We're not ready.
Hang on.
Elevator
I'm so
stuck.
Sorry. I'm running on the field. I'm sorry. Everyone's booing and screaming. Who's this woman? Which sport? This was actually a question I included because I saw a viral tweet that I really liked. Which sport has the largest gap between college and the pros? The tweet itself that went viral said it was basketball.
I would say baseball.
Me too.
Yeah, baseball for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, it takes guys 3 or 4 years to go from college to the big leagues. Whereas, NFL, you get drafted, you're likely playing.
Oh, you're playing.
You're playing.
Yeah. I would say golf, too. Because there are a lot of college golfers who shoot like 5 over. If a pro shoots 5 over, he's thinking about quitting.
I will say one more thing about Survivor. Someone said season's been good, but there's overlap, like over the top sometimes with certain things. If I have to hear Billie Eilish Boomerang Idol, if I hear Billie Eilish Boomerang Idol one more time.
You know what's nuts is that she hasn't even spoken on it.
I swear to God, are they getting paid
anywhere?
For this?
Yeah.
Also, is it pay per mention?
Mr. Beast is supposed to come on a future episode. Who was the country singer? Zach.
That was too long a segment as a whole. It just
Zach
became
Brown?
a concert.
Yeah, Zach Brown
The
band.
Bachelor.
Yeah.
What's the longest win streak you think the Mariners will have this year? I think they'll pull a 10-11 game streak to polish off a rather dull start to a promising year from Christian.
That'd be nice.
That's crazy.
I give them 7.
I think they've got it in them to get hot. I think if they really get going and get into the swing of things, no pun intended, at a time when they've got the rest of the AL West is not supposed to be excellent, which I know sounds bad because they just dropped a series to the Angels. They dropped a game to the Rangers. They got Houston coming up. I know that right now that could come back to bite me, but imagine a really hot Mariners team against a weaker AL West schedule if you have a couple series packed together. I don't know, maybe. August Julio, Rakin. I think it could happen. 10 games is tough. That's tough for anyone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. 8 or 9.
Yeah. 866-979-3776. What's the go-to snack at a gas station?
Mine?
The must-have go-to.
For me, it's just Pringles. That is like Pringles.
Oh, that's a great driving/road trip snack.
Is it a great driving snack? You can't
here
really
goes
one-hand
Curtis.
those things.
You can't.
You got
that's
to
fair.
two-hand those things.
I guess
you got
I
to
was-
hold the tube and then go in.
I was thinking of it
Nah,
as.
see, that's rookie. You're a rookie eater right there.
Wow.
You put it in the cup holder.
He
right
said
next
You're
to
questioning
it.
me?
He said that's a skill issue.
Have you seen me, bud?
I liked the answer because I thought Pringles are one of those things that, like, I don't go out and buy from the grocery store. But for some reason, like, if you're on a road trip, when I drive to see my parents, it's a 3-hour drive. Anytime I go to, like, if I stop for food, it's like calories don't count. You can get anything. So I always go for, like, Cheez-Its.
Yeah.
I love Cheez-Its.
See, you can get Cheez-Its, though, at any store. And I feel like the gas station itself has a genre of snack available to it that you just can't get
anywhere. So you're talking like the pizza roll. You're talking the roly-poly.
That, or I'm talking combos. You don't see those in the grocery store that often.
Well, what do you mean combos?
The little pretzel snacks with the, like, cheese filling, or the best one, pepperoni pizza. That's right.
Easy.
So hot food is what you're going
No,
for.
I'm talking about the pepperoni pizza filling combo.
What is it? What's it? I guess I was thinking
You
a
know
combo.
what a combo is.
No,
You're
I
just
don't.
pleading ignorance.
No.
You
Let me Google
absolutely-
it. Do you see how he's treating me right now? Let me Google
You
it.
treat everybody the same
No, I
way during
don't.
this segment.
Curtis, shut up.
God.
Gas station
music.
combo.
The music's
no,
on.
I'm Googling right now.
Music's
No,
on.
I think I know what this is. No. Yes, I know what this is. Okay. Okay. But I didn't know there was a pepperoni pizza one.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a fair answer. I'll accept it. You're listening to Bump and Stacy. Coming up, all Mariners 1-2 for the dugout, starting with updates from Arlington with Mariners insider Shannon Drayer.
Brock and Salk, morning 6 to 10.
There's no one reason why they're 4-6 other than they're not hitting. I mean, this is a pretty familiar story. Heading into the game yesterday, they were 28th in batting average. They only had 8 home runs, which have mostly come in bunches. They were 25th in OPS.
I'd be hard-pressed to find any other answer than that.
The expectations, I do think, are a problem.
And all the expectations and all that comes with it, that's a new place to live.
Only on Seattle Sports, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
Olympic Hot Tub Sweet Spring Savings Event is here. Now through April 14th, thanks to incredible factory discounts, you can save up to $16,500 on an amazing endless pool swim spa. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Hey, it's Mike Salk here for my friends at Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. And if you're looking for a spot to catch all the spring baseball and sports, I got a place for you. Hawks Peak Sports Bar and Grill. It's your home for game days with more than 60 TVs, so you won't miss a play. They got great food and drinks, and nothing beats the views. So get in on all the action at Hawks Peak. Head to snocasino.com for all the details. That's snocasino.com. It is Seattle's closest Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. Please game responsibly.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here for my friends at People Come First. You've heard me talk about them. PCF Construction Group. People come first. And if you've been dreaming of a new deck, well, now is the time to call PCF before the good weather arrives and their schedule gets all filled up. With a new deck, patio cover, heater, and fireplace from PCF, you can enjoy your outdoor space year-round, no matter the weather. And for a limited time, get 50% off demolition costs. That's up to $5,000 when you book your project with PCF. Contact People Come First Construction Group for all the details. You know, they designed and built our outdoor living space, and we loved it. Start planning and designing your dream deck now so you're ready to build this summer. Planning, permitting, construction, they take time. So don't wait another day. Get started today. Get project ideas, browse their amazing photos, and find all the offer details at PCFgroup.com. That's PCFgroup.com.
Making your outdoor space with People Come First.
Our number one thing with them is always like, hey, welcome someone in and assure them that they're in the right place. We're going to take care of them.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
Let's talk about your hair. Well, maybe after we talk about my hair. I've got great hair, as you know, and it's because of Advanced Hair. Yep, Advanced Hair Restoration. Their simple one-day treatment offers life-changing results that I can attest to. Guys, it's not magic, but it's close to it. They put hair where you need it most, and bam, it grows. It's actual science. Advanced Hair has top-rated physicians, modern technology, and best of all, you get your very own natural hair that begins to regrow the very next day. It's even guaranteed to grow for life. So schedule your free consultation now at 425-449-8185. Mention Curly to qualify for $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. It's a limited time offer. Advanced Hair, the winner of the 425 Business of the Year, and the team that gave me my hair back. More importantly, they'll do the same for you, guaranteed. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
Endless hours of research, seeking referrals, dozens of calls. Hiring the right attorney can be a challenging process during an already difficult time. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains.
In Washington State, Tom, there are thousands of attorneys to choose from. Referrals and online research can be helpful, but discovering the right attorney requires a conversation. It can be hard to identify integrity and authenticity without that interaction.
So, what do you recommend?
We encourage anyone looking for personal injury representation to call for a free consultation with our team before making a decision simply based on referrals or online research. Accident victims need an attorney that listens, demonstrates honesty, and is genuinely understanding of their unique circumstances. The care, attention, and preparation that our firm provides throughout the case mirrors the effort involved when taking on the insurance companies.
Save time and avoid mistakes after an injury. Contact the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
With Popeye's new $6 faves menu, you can get this 3-piece chicken, this 3-piece tenders, this chicken sandwich, or these 2 regular sides for just $6 a piece. I know you can't see what I see, but trust me, those bold Louisiana flavors look so good, you might just have to get them all. Now there's an idea.
Love that chicken from Popeyes.
Limited time at participating U.S. restaurants. Price may vary. Terms apply.
Collectors, Front Row Car Show is returning to Tacoma. Join us at the Greater Tacoma Convention Center on April 11th and 12th. 480 tables. Baseball, football, basketball, and hockey cards. Plus collectibles such as Pokemon, Marvel, Star Wars, and comic books. CGC, JSA, and Beckett will be there. So bring your cards, comics, and autographs to sell, trade, or get them graded. Hundreds of vendors, thousands of dollars in free prizes. Don't miss it. Front Row Car Show. Greater Tacoma Convention Center. Saturday and Sunday, April 11th and 12th, 11 to 5. For more info, go to frontrowcarshow.com. That's frontrowcarshow.com.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
The Michigan Wolverines held off UConn to win its first men's hoops national championship since 1989. Final score 69-63. Michigan and Duke are early favorites for the title in 2027. The Mariners dropped their first of a 3-game series against the Rangers. The only good news here was Cal Raleigh getting his first home run of the season. Otherwise, bats went cold. Game 2 today at 5:05 p.m. George Kirby on the mound. Pre-game show starts at 4 p.m. right here on Seattle Sports.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This is The Dugout, taking you inside your Seattle Mariners.
Swing and a miss, and he got him with a slider.
Presented by Top Fitness.
On the home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports.
Swinging a shot over the bag at first, fair ball. The Mariners win it. Here comes Leo Rivas to score. Cal Raleigh with a walk-off single.
Time to grab a seat and talk Mariners baseball in The Dugout.
This is The Dugout. Mariners insider Shannon Drayer joining us right now on the American Casino Sportsbook hotline. Shannon, I know that it's very, very early in the season, and so there are certain things that matter and others that just simply don't. Like I think that Josh Naylor will be fine, even if he hasn't looked great to start the year. However, is there anything you've seen with this Mariners team that is starting to concern you, or certainly that you're starting to track a little more closely?
I don't think so. I mean, and that is completely based on what we expect these players to be and what we thought all off season and what we thought all spring. So I don't see anything that is going to drastically change my mind about any of them, and that we were way off on this. And, you know, let's face it, we know firsthand what most of them are because there is very little change on this team. So The only thing in watching what we're watching right now is, of course, you would like them to be doing better. You would like them to be hitting more. It's alarming when you see in any stretch, shutouts and games where they have 2 hits or just 1 run or anything like that. I do think it is magnified a little bit more right now. And I do think, we're just all waiting for the offense to take off, and primarily those 3 main hitters in the middle of the order. The thing that I would like to see right away is just play cleaner baseball. We've seen some mistakes, and that is, control the controllable. I think that is the most important thing for them, especially when you're going through a struggle. It hurts the pitching when you're not able to make a play. It hurts the offense when you do something on the base paths that you shouldn't do. And then go ahead and throw in the ABS too. And you just wonder, and it's too soon to tell with them, but you see teams that are really using it a little bit more to their advantage, whereas the Mariners feel like they're still just kind of getting comfortable with it right now, which is no wonder because that is not something that they had at the WBC, and you had so many players who were at the WBC. So I think that we are right now experiencing a lot of early season pain that you see in the early season quite often, and with the optimism that went into the season, and they're going to pick up where they left off last year. In fact, they should pick up better because of health. With that not happening, I think it stings a little bit more, but it doesn't mean that they can't be that club that we believe that they can be, that they showed they were last year. And really on paper, I think they should be better then.
Last year, Logan wasn't the greatest on the road, but put up a nice performance last night. What did you see out of him? What do you like?
I like the adjustments that he made. He was pretty off to start this game. He was getting some outs, but it was taking a lot of pitches. He was not throwing first pitch strikes at all. I think he threw 4 first pitch strikes in innings 1 through 3, and then went a perfect 12 for 12 in the next 3 innings. He really mixed in his stuff, I think, more than we've seen in any start so far this season, and I think that there is an adjustment period with him for a couple of reasons, because of the amount of stuff that he has, because he is trying to use new pitches, which is a little bit of a surprise. He threw a couple of changeups last night, and one of them for a strikeout. So that was interesting to see there. We're continuing to see the cutter, and one of them ended up in the middle of the plate and got launched. But I think that he feels that he needs those pitches, and if it's a pitch that he has that he believes that he needs as well, Cal is going to call that pitch, and they're trying to get adjusted with that. And then just the last thing, and Ryan Willen-Smith brought this up on the post-game show last night, when you have a player as tall and as long as Logan Gilbert is, it can be a little bit tougher settling into the season, making sure that everything feels right, that the delivery is where it needs to be, and the repeatability of that delivery too. So I think he is continuing to make adjustments, and if a continuing to make adjustments performance was 6 innings of 2-run ball, I will happily take that right now. I do think that he is kind of building upon each outing that he has, and we'll see what he has next time. But in his head, he's going to be the leader of that rotation. He's going to be the number one. He is going to throw 200-plus innings this year, and at some point it would be a force, but we just haven't seen that yet.
What are you seeing so far from the bullpen, especially new additions like Ferrer?
Ferrer, like he was in spring training, has been up and down. Still not sure what he is going to be on a consistent basis. It was good to see him use the secondary stuff a little bit, and it was effective for him. That was a much-needed inning that they had from him, a scoreless inning, which was good to see. And then I'm really intrigued by what we're seeing from Wilcox in that, he's got the stuff, and he's a big guy out there. He's got the velocity. He just has next to zero experience. He had pitched 1 big league inning before he came to the Mariners. So when you're looking for that guy who might turn into a little something as the season goes on, very, very curious about him. And then the rest of the pen, when I talk about adjustments, still very much there. It was interesting to see who they went to and when they went to last night, and it just gave me, they gave the appearance, even though it was a 1-run game, and your offense was struggling, so I don't know how confident you were they could get 2 runs at that point, but Dan did not go to leverage arms. He went to Cooper Criswell. He did his job out there, but I think they are still trying to stay away from arms. They're still not into the regular season grind of you're fine going 2 in a row, you're fine going 3 out of 4. They're just not doing that. You're fine with the up and downs. They're still being very careful with the relievers. And going into that game last night, your 3 leverage relievers in Munoz, Spire, and Brash had all pitched 2 out of the last 3 games, and neither one of them was first up in a 1-run game late-ish. So I found that interesting, and I think that tells you where they are with the bullpen. They're still getting into where they will be, in a couple of weeks.
Shannon, when Donovan was acquired, we talked about just his versatility, right? And his bat. But I wasn't really sure what to expect from him defensively. He's made a couple good plays. One got overturned yesterday. Are you getting what you expected out of Donovan? Less, more? Where do you see his glove?
I think he's still learning the position. I mean, he's played the position. He knows the position, but I think he is still learning to play that position now as a player 4 years in an everyday role in a team that desperately needs defense with the pitching that they have. And, as the defense plays into what they do, they are, very much a put-it-in-play type team. And so I think that there are things over there that he hasn't seen in a while at game speed. He didn't see a ton. He wasn't challenged a ton in spring training. And then this is the first game speed that he's had at third base in a regular season for some time. And that makes a difference. And we saw him make an ill-advised throw from an angle where I don't think anybody makes that throw in the Anaheim series. And, those are things that I'm sure he does that. And he's like, okay, we don't do that again. Noted. We saw him hesitate on a ball a couple of days ago, and then we saw him early out working on his first step after that. It's anything that he doesn't quite get right now, he's right back out there the next day working. He's there with Perry, very specific in what he's doing. So I think so far so good. It'll be interesting to see how long he is there. It appears that's where you're going to see Colt Emerson at some point, which means Donovan is going to have to move around. He's going to have to go out in the outfield. And I don't think we saw him in left field during the spring. So I'm very curious to see. I think it'll be a little bit of a tell once we see him taking some early work out in the outfield. We have yet to see that. But so far so good. But I think that he does still need a little grace when it comes to this is still an adjustment for him. He is still learning. And I think that anything you see from him right now, a month from now, will be even better.
The 3 names we've all been watching because of their slow starts, obviously Cal, Naylor, and Julio. Cal finally getting his first home run of the season yesterday in a great AB. Tell me what you've seen from these 3, maybe anything that has looked encouraging, and then what you're still watching for.
Well, the at-bat last night against DeGrom from Cal, my first thought was, and dark humor here, that was more live pitches he saw in that at-bat than he did in a week at the WBC, which really tells you where he was. And I'm hoping that seeing that is something that helped him a little bit. I also found that was the first at-bat this year for him where I felt he's got this. And you don't know. You play that game as a fan a little bit. He's going to do something here. But when you see it enough, you can see the back and forth. And sometimes it's a matter of fighting off and hoping for the walk. And the other time it's a matter of fighting off and hoping to put it over the fence. And he had that look. It looked like he was timing it up. He looked like he was, just off on a couple. And he also was not swinging at anything crazy in that at-bat either. So I had some pretty good feelings about that at-bat. And he's been able to do some things. One was a bloop single that scored a run. He'll take it. It's good to know that you have the luck when you're kind of going through it the way that you are, because he hasn't had some luck with some other things. But, we saw the walk-off at home. We saw this home run, which was against a great pitcher and a long at bat. And so I'm starting to feel a little bit better about him, and perhaps even that helped just with the timing in seeing that, and interested to see where that goes. Naylor has hit the ball hard, and it's kind of seen him go from hitting the ball on the ground too much to now all of a sudden, okay, make sure you're swinging at the right pitches, and that's an adjustment for him as well. And Julio is he's been all over the place. There are times when he's hitting the ball hard. There are times when he looks really close. There were times early when we're like, don't swing at that, Julio, and he got over that, and then that'll pop up a little bit. I think we are seeing early season Julio. And I think that the hope is that is something that he can pop up out of in 3 weeks rather than 2 months. And, he's going through the work that he needs to. I know the confidence is there with him. He had a nice hit in the third game in Anaheim that very well, by all rights, maybe should have been the winning hit of that game. Unfortunately, things didn't go their way. So I think we just have to sit back and watch. There's really nothing alarming with him or with any of them. It's just, again, making the adjustments and seeing pitches. They're making mistakes here and there. But I do feel a little bit better. I know Cal did not feel good about one of his swings for a while now. I think he feels better. And I think that we saw last year, it was evidenced once he locked in, he was there. It didn't mean that he wasn't going to have strikeouts. It didn't mean that he wasn't going to have, streaks where he looked a little bit rough. But as long as he is locked in, what it does mean is he feels good about it and he's going to stick with it. He's not a guy that's going to make a lot of changes, and he really buys into length of season. And if I'm where I need to be, it's all going to work out numbers-wise at the end of the season.
She is Mariners insider Shannon Drayer. Make sure you're reading her work at seattlesports.com. Thanks, Shannon.
Thanks, Shannon.
You got it, guys.
Have a good one. Don't forget, you can download the Seattle Sports app to listen to every Mariners game on one app, and it's completely free. You can take the game with you on the go when you're out running errands, at Little League practice, on a hike, on the boat, wherever. The Seattle Sports app travels with you. You can enjoy every pitch of Rick Riz's final season all in one place at no cost. Did I mention it's free? It's the easiest way to enjoy Seattle Mariners baseball. Coming up at 1:30, Mariners broadcaster Gary Hale. Before then, we're going to preview the rest of this series against Texas.
There she goes. Goodbye, baseball. Number one for Cal Raleigh.
Despite Cal's first bomb of the season, the Mariners dropped their third straight in last night's opener in Arlington. With George Kirby on the mound tonight, can the M's pick up a much-needed win?
You got to be able to do the little things right. You got to grind out at bats.
Mariners and Rangers Game 2, 5:05 first pitch, pregame at 4. Listen live anywhere for free on the Seattle Sports app. One app, every Mariners game.
Well, spring is all about getting ready for summer, isn't it? Hey, Brock Heward here. And working out in your own home, well, it is the best. We've been doing so for years. And you can allow Top Fitness to create your own home gym. And right now, get spring special financing with 0% interest for 12 months. Plus, mention me and receive an $150 credit towards any purchase over $1,000. Spring is here. So go get into Top Fitness with locations in Tukwila, Linwood, and Bellevue, or simply visit topfitness.com for more info.
There's nothing better than having a big fish on your line. Make this the year you take that unforgettable fishing trip to Queen Charlotte Lodge. Time is running out for summer bookings. Experience a luxury resort and amazing fishing with your buddies, family, father, or son. King salmon runs, halibut, and lingcod are always plentiful. Book your stay at fishqcl.com and use code ESPN. Experience fishing first class. Experience fishqcl.com.
How was your break?
It was great until I stopped for gas. Prices have gone up almost $1 with no end in sight. I might have to start watching how much I drive.
That's exactly why I use Upside. I never pay full price for gas with the free Upside app.
Upside?
Yes, Upside. It's the free app that gives you cash back just for buying the gas you're already buying. So even with the rising gas prices, I'll never have to limit how much I drive.
Does that actually add up to anything?
Just last year, I made over $200 with the Upside app.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Upside app right now.
Download the free Upside app to earn cash back on the gas you're already buying. Use promo code THRIVE25 for an extra 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank account, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code THRIVE25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first fill-up. That's THRIVE25.
Offers vary by user and location. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions.
Indeed presents hires you can't afford to get wrong, like a staff accountant at the height of tax season.
Congrats. Looks like the company owes, $50 in taxes. How about that?
That seems low. Why only 50?
Why do you care so much? It's not your money.
This is a job for Sponsored Jobs. This is what happens when you don't sponsor your job on Indeed. Next time, get matched with quality candidates with Indeed Sponsored Jobs. Visit Indeed.com/hire now and sponsor your job today.
My name is Christine, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, was a healthy 34-year-old, and 3 months later, he was gone. Thankfully, he had life insurance. Ethos made it so easy. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. 100% online, no medical exam. Life insurance didn't take away the loss, but it did give us the space to just grieve.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game.
ethos.com/game. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Back to the dugout on the home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports.
I had someone text in saying, well, when your whole team is batting below the Mendoza line, it's a problem. So let's talk about what to panic about and what not to right now when it comes to this Mariners team and kind of a cool offense. Again, saw some encouraging things. Pitching has been phenomenal. Cal obviously getting his first home run yesterday is good, but we get it. Offense has stalled. It's been incredibly frustrating for a team that wants to get to a World Series. Here's what Jeff Passan told Brock and Salk he would say to someone who's disappointed in yet another slow start for the Mariners.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice that way. But the ultimate thing, Mike, is it not? I would rather them be doing this in August and September than in April and May.
Of course.
And we want all of it, right? Like, we want them to, from the jump, be a juggernaut. Sometimes it doesn't happen, but that doesn't damn this team, to a disappointing season.
I know it sounds trite, but he's also correct. You'd rather it be that they're just figuring it out and getting into the swing of things than that there's a problem and someone's lost when you're competing for playoff positioning.
Oh, man, that's the season, right? If you're going to have your team struggle, you want to have the struggles early so you can work yourself out. But other struggles or more struggles are inevitable. It's going to happen. There are going to be streaks where Cal is cold. There are going to be streaks where Julio is cold. But, yeah, it's not surprising that the Mariners are off to the start that they are because this is what they typically done. And you don't panic because you realize that there's a lot more baseball to be played. And this team has shown you weather gets better, bats get hot too.
Now, some people are wondering whether or not the heightened expectations the Mariners are facing do play a factor. They asked Jeff.
I would believe that after last year that the Mariners would understand who they are. And it's why I think they're not panicking right now. It's because I think they know that they've been there, that they've done it, that they were a few outs away from advancing to the first World Series in franchise history, and that nothing changed between last year and this year. There are going to be performances that differ from last year. I would be stunned, not just because of the beginning of the season, but I would be stunned if Cal Raleigh hit 60 home runs again. I would have said that before the season started, though. So I think the expectations are reasonable and reasonably high for the Mariners because they've shown what they're capable of being. And if they're not going out and proving that and reiterating that, then it's a fair question to ask why. What has changed?
Sure. It is a fair question to ask. That being said, I'm siding with Jeff in the first part of that right now, Bump, which is I don't think the expectations are affecting this team quite as much as they would just like a normal person who's not an athlete dealing with pressure, but B, someone who, frankly, didn't grow up being a Mariners fan, which these guys didn't. These guys were, most of them, born in the late 90s through 2000, didn't grow up diehard Mariners fans with this team who are now experiencing expectations for the first time. These are guys who were on a playoff roster last year in the ALCS. They know pressure.
I kind of disagree. Because I think that they haven't had an offseason like this. They haven't had an offseason where everyone they speak to, ESPN, MLB.com, Mariners are so good. Third best team in MLB. Julio's going to be a superstar. Cal coming off 60. It's just different circumstances. I don't think that it's the reason, but I think that it is something that has been on their mind because conversations are different now when they talk to the media and whoever is in charge of influencing and making people believe that this team is a great team. But expectations also is a good thing too, because now you feel proud of that expectation too. Like, we earned this. It's not something that's just given to you. So I think it's something. Is it the reason? Nah. But has it changed their offseason? Yeah.
It's changed the offseason. I think that when you look at, we were looking at Cal's bat speed before this started, compared, there was like a quadrant on Baseball Savant, bat speed and then hard hit, like squaring up the ball. And he had higher than average bat speed, really low percentage of squaring up any ball. So you're swinging out of your shoes is what that says. Can that be pressure? Sure. Could that be a lack of reps and a lack of recognition and just not quite being comfortable with your swing? Yeah, I also think that's real too. And honestly, guys, when were the Mariners under more pressure? Trying to finish out a 15-inning game in Game 5, the ALDS last year, or right now?
Well, that's different. Like, in-game pressure and expectations are different. You know what I mean? Like, they're in a situation in that 15-inning game where, you know, I'm sure some dudes got a little tight every now and then. But I feel like the in-game pressure, you're more likely to be able to adjust and kind of get through it. It's the expectations before where all you're hearing, like, praise can be the enemy sometimes. People keep praising you and praising you, telling you how great you are. Sometimes you start to believe it. Now, I'm talking like this because I'm just giving a perspective. I don't think that these guys are feeding into all of that and think their stuff
You
don't
just think that
stink
there's
and
something to be
it's
said
just-
for that being a factor.
Yeah,
You don't think it's nothing.
It's something.
Yeah.
I don't think it can be ignored.
Sure.
But it's not the reason.
I think athletes are weirdos. I know too many.
So?
Well, that's true. Yeah.
Look at them. I think that athletes deal with pressure in I think the best athletes, the ones that actually make it, adapt to pressure better than the average person. I think it is a skill just as important as pitch recognition and a great swing and a feel for the game and all those physical traits. Just as important is the ability to deal with pressure. We've seen players that have all the tools that don't make it work because they can't deal with pressure and expectations.
Yeah.
I think that athletes also have a freaky ability to deal with pressure.
I think they do. And I think that when it comes to this team, they just got to warm up. I've seen it every year since I've been covering this team. This is just part of their DNA for some reason.
Let's talk about what happens when Colt Emerson gets thrown into the mix. A little bit more here from Jeff before we keep it moving.
I am interested in seeing what kind of an effect it has on Brendan Donovan, though, because some players, Brendan Donovan's the kind of guy who's had to scrap for the kind of career that he's made for himself, and tons of respect to him for doing that. So maybe he is used to this idea of being a super utility guy, but there is some comfort, guys, in knowing where you're going to play every day.
Oh, most definitely. I don't know. I'm still more curious about the JP of it all.
Yeah. JP.
Respect Jeff's opinion for sure. I think that I'm curious about what it means for a leader in this clubhouse to then split time with a rookie.
It could, I would assume.
Who we're excited to see.
I would assume it would mess with the ego just a little bit, though.
And he was careful to make it clear that he was supporting him in those comments.
You also
with
heard the frustration,
MLB.com.
too, though.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm curious to talk with both Gary and Alex, who are joining us in consecutive segments coming up on the Dugout, about what they see with this team. Both of these people know the players well, have been there at stretches when players have failed and when this team has not been doing great, and have been there when they've clicked. And I'm curious to ask, what's it look like when things are about to start clicking? Do you see signs? Right? And also, what stat matters in April? I can't wait. That's going to be my first question for Gary. I don't know what he's going to say to it, but what's something that actually matters in April and what doesn't? I'm not worried about team batting average right now. But should we be worried about how often guys chase? Mike Petriello of MLB.com was talking about bat speed and hard hit percentage, which you've been tracking. So I'm kind of curious about that.
Me too.
One more very quickly from Jeff. He talked about Emerson Hancock, who's let's end with some positivity here, a fantastic start.
Just a couple of starts at this point, but they've been really good starts. I think the version of Hancock that we're seeing now is like the version that we thought we could see when he was drafted, but not the version that when he was ascending through the minor leagues I anticipated. I thought Emerson Hancock was a number 5. He is not pitching like a number 5 right now. He's pitching like a good mid-rotation starter, and the fact that there could be more if this becomes a consistent thing is a great sign for an organization that already has 5 good starting pitchers.
You started the season watching Cole Young with your eye on Cole Young. Has Emerson Hancock now become a guy where you go, ooh, suddenly I'm very curious in his start to the season?
It's nice talking about the other variables, the others. So, yes, Cole Young, Emerson, let's get it.
You're listening to The Dugout, all Mariners from 1 to 2. Alex Mayer joining us at 1:45. Coming up next, it's Mariners broadcaster Gary Hill.
There she goes. Goodbye, baseball. Number 1 for Cal Raleigh.
Despite Cal's first bomb of the season, the Mariners dropped their third straight in last night's opener in Arlington. With George Kirby on the mound tonight, can the M's pick up a much-needed win?
You gotta be able to do the little things right. You gotta grind out at bats.
Mariners and Rangers Game 2, 5:05 first pitch, pregame at 4. Listen live anywhere for free on the Seattle Sports app. One app, every Mariners game.
Yay to Bruce, the streaming king.
With quantum fiber internet, he's gonna binge.
He wants more, he's got to have more.
More bedtime true crime.
More podcasts in the shower.
Quantum fiber Wi-Fi has the power. More.
Fast internet speed. He's got the gigs to go big. Bring him the game
right now.
And his royal we.
More sports non-stop. His quantum fiber's on top. Yay to you.
Switch today at quantumfiber.com. Limited availability, service and speed in select locations only.
The stock market was on fire in 2025 due to AI and tech stocks. Now is the time to set a strategy for 2026. It's a good opportunity to lock in those gains and invest into a stable platform. With $8 trillion in cash sitting on the sidelines, investors are either scared or unsure where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rireka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with zero investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
Lee Johnson Auto Family.
The best path at that point was to stop for the night, and you go home and take a breath. She came back in the morning and bought the car. She was way happier.
The LJ way.
You're losing your hair and you simply need a solution that works. You want the best. Modern technology, top-rated physicians, something that's guaranteed to work. Guys, you need world-class Dr. Perungo and his team at Advanced Hair. Advanced Hair has completely redefined hair restoration. From the experience itself to their unmatched results. Receding hairline, bald spot, thinning hair, maybe all three like I had. Get your hair back with Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment that begins to regrow your own natural hair the very next day. Advanced Hair has changed tens of thousands of lives, including mine. And get this, Advanced Hair is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. For your free consultation, call 425-449-8185. Right now, you'll get $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. Refine your hairline with the team that redefined hair restoration. That's 425-449-8185. Or for the before and afters, visit advancedhair.com.
Make this spring even sweeter with healthy saltwater soaks in a hot spring spa. During Olympic Sweet Spring Savings Event, save up to $3,000 on the hot tub of your dreams. Ends April 14th. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Indeed presents hires you can't afford to get wrong, like a staff accountant at the height of tax season.
Congrats. Looks like the company owes, $50 in taxes. How about that?
That seems low. Why only 50?
Why do you care so much? It's not your money.
This is the job for sponsored jobs.
This is what happens when you don't sponsor your job on Indeed. Next time, get matched with quality candidates with Indeed sponsored jobs. Visit Indeed.com/hire now and sponsor your job today.
My name is Christine, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, was a healthy 34-year-old, and 3 months later, he was gone. Thankfully, he had life insurance. Ethos made it so easy. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. 100% online, no medical exam. Life insurance didn't take away the loss, but it did give us the space to just grieve.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. Ethos.com/game. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Back to the dugout on the home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports.
All Mariners 1 to 2 for the dugout. Joining us now, Mariners broadcaster Gary Hill on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. Gary, how's it going?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
Great.
Good.
I wish that yesterday would have come with a win, but yes. I did like what we saw overall from Logan, from pitching to start the season. And it was certainly nice to see Cal get his first home run and a great AB. I want to start with just any encouraging signs you've seen from this club so far.
Yeah, I mean, I think the pitching overall has been excellent so far. Outside of a couple of starts, it's been pretty much the same start from every guy. I mean, 6 innings, 1 or 2 runs, right? That part's been great. I think the bullpen's been really good for the most part. And I know early season, it's always a little challenging because guys are just getting into the season and some aren't going back-to-back right away. So there's some kind of extra juggling early on in the season. But I think they survived that part pretty well. And so for the most part, they've all pitched really well so far. I mean, what we're talking about with the slow start, it just kind of comes down to one thing for me. And right now, you look at slugging percentage, especially for me, they're second to last in Major League Baseball. And that comes with the middle of the order. I mean, that's what we're talking about. Cal and Julio and Naylor and even Arozarena, although he's done a good job getting on base. I mean, that's kind of the issue for this team right now, because you look at all these games, they're all close. I think they're 8 games by 2 or fewer runs already this season, and they're 2-6 in those. I think that's going to turn around. I think this works both ways. Like the Reds are 7-0 in those games, and the Red Sox are 0-6 in those games. So weird things can happen early in a season, but it should even out for the Mariners. But you look at these games, and the frustrating part is, hey, you get a hit here, a hit here. I mean, it changes the complexion of what has happened so far this season, but it feels close because of how well they've pitched.
Or you don't get a home run robbed, and then maybe or 3.
Well, that would have helped too, or 3. You know, 1 or 3. Yeah, that would have been helpful, because as it turns out, that would have been a series win as well, and you probably are looking at this trip differently. But yeah, they just haven't played well overall. But it's early. You know, we're 11 games into this thing, and this can happen to any team at any time in any 11-game stretch. It just doesn't feel great when it's right out of the gates. And it's the only thing we have to talk about because it's the only games that have been played. So it's the hardest part of the season, I think, when it comes to talking about baseball.
Gary, obviously, you know, in team sports is us against them, but then every now and then you get these one-on-one matchups, right? You got Kobe against LeBron back in the day and all these other stuff. But you had DeGrom against Cal. And this is a different kind of one-on-one, right? You got 12 opportunities to really just go at each other. How would you describe that matchup and that scenario?
That was one of the all-time great at-bats because DeGrom is as good as it gets. The only question with him through the years has been health. When he has been healthy and pitching, he has been simply one of the best pitchers in the game. Cal, 12 pitches, hits a home run off a 99-mile-per-hour fastball. It was brilliant. Not only the home run, but also for a guy that we knew wasn't going to throw a ton of pitches. I mean, 12 pitches ends up being a large percentage of his workload. And I think it cost DeGrom an extra inning in the game yesterday. So for all of those reasons, it was a great plate appearance. And overall, I think his at-bats are really good. That's probably the best game he's had just in terms of quality of the at-bats. So I think we're all hoping that will start something. And just to be fair, you look at Cal through 9 games last year, and it's exactly the same as this year. He's batting like $150 with 1 home run, and his season turned out just fine. So there's still plenty of time.
I know that it's hard to say that any specific stat or number is predictive of anything in April, but are there certain stats, simple or not, that you do pay a little closer attention to and others that you might ignore?
So I think context is really important because let me give you an example. When the Blue Jays are off to a tough start too, and there's a lot of teams that we expect to be good that are below 500, the Mariners and the Blue Jays and the Red Sox and the Cubs. There's a lot of teams like that. However, you look at a team like the Blue Jays, they lost Scherzer last night. Just about their entire rotation is on the IL right now. So when you're looking at their situation, it's like, well, it's not a great start, but we don't have a rotation either. This could actually be a problem moving forward, and unless their offense really picks it up and they start to hit. When you look at the Mariners situation, it's like, well, they're not going to finish 29th in slugging percentage. They're just not, because you look at the middle of the lineup, and they're good players with track records. They're going to be better than in this 11-game stretch. So I don't there's not a stat or two that I key on early in the season. I just like to look at the context because there may be actual reasons and problems for teams early, like the Blue Jays. For the Mariners, I just don't think it's a long-term problem. I think it's just 11 games, and baseball is being baseball.
Hey, going back to Cal, we talk about his ABs or whatnot, but how's he been behind the plate?
He's been good. He's been consistent. It's kind of too early to, I think, really examine kind of the numbers defensively, but they've been solid so far. I think he, along with a lot of players in Major League Baseball, is getting used to the ABS system. I think as if Cal needed another layer of things to do during the course of a ball game. I think it really does add a whole nother layer. And we have seen, it's been really interesting because a lot of teams have treated this very differently so far. And I think most teams are just still trying to feel out exactly how they're going to work the system. Now, some teams have been super aggressive, like Minnesota, and some teams have hardly challenged at all, like Cleveland. And I'm sure once we get going, teams will find a middle ground. But it still feels like Cal and the Mariners in general are feeling their way through ABS. But Cal's had, the one thing that really stood out to me in the Yankees series, he put a perfect throw right on the bag to get Bellinger. And that's something that he talked about in the offseason, that he wanted to get better defensively at throwing in particular. And that throw was money. In fact, you could see Bellinger mouth, what about that throw, a perfect throw or something like that? It was just right on the bag. So that's kind of something I'm watching early on.
Have you heard anything about Dan or just the organization's maybe philosophical approach to ABS, how they want to challenge, how aggressive they want to be? Or is that also still to be determined?
I think they're still feeling it out like everyone else, because the problem, or just the reality, not problem, spring was just whatever. Like, people are just challenging because there's no stakes. It doesn't matter, right? But in these games, it matters, and you only have 2 of them. So I think for the most part, it's trying to find the balance, because you want to have one left when you get to the end of a ball game in a big situation in the 8th and the 9th. At the same time, you don't want to let a situation go by the wayside just because it's early when a pitch can swing a count. And I thought, as an underrated part to the Adele game, because he took the headlines for all the obvious reasons, but I thought O'Hoppe really changed the game as well. He turned 4 counts during the course of a ball game because he nailed 4 different challenges during the course of the game. And in a close game, turning around 4 counts really makes a difference. I think he nailed his first 7 challenges in the series. He was really good at it. So it can be really important early. The thing is, this is such an obvious statement, but if you're going to challenge early, you got to be right. And I think the hardest part, just watching it play out, is keeping the emotions separate. Like, you can see it sometimes where a guy gets rung up, and not just Mariners, I think throughout baseball, and goes to a challenge immediately out of more frustration, I think.
Yeah, like an automatic.
Yes. We all react like that in times of stress. So I totally get it. I think that's the most difficult part, is not reacting out of frustration.
Where do you think this team is defensively? Cole Young's been all right. You got Donovan, who's made some plays. Rosarena missed one in the outfield the other day. I remember going back a few years ago, Gary, where this team was just so good defensively. You think they can get back to that?
So I think the infield defense in particular is something we'll be watching closely. I don't think we have the answer to what that is going to look like this season. I think they're really good up the middle. I think Julio is one of the best center fielders in baseball, and Cal is one of the best defensive catchers in baseball. So you have that. Naylor's solid. We all saw that play out last year. And Cole Young has been really good defensively. If you want to look, I know it's early, defensive run saved going into yesterday, he was the very best in the majors. He was +4. And, Perry Hill had talked about the strides he has made defensively. So he's off to a great start defensively. He's looked a lot better than last year, which is really good. And so I think Donovan, it's a new position. It's a new position, really. He's played it before, yes, but not in an everyday sense. And we've seen, I think, one of the tough adjustments is it's the hot corner. You get balls smashed at you sometimes. Like we saw Staton hit it 103 right at him once, and he didn't make the play on. But, that's kind of the adjustment. I feel like he has the skill set to get better through the course of the season. And I don't think he's been bad at third. Like, I think he's made some really good plays and almost made a great play last night. And he's had a couple of mistakes, which has happened early on. So I think we're just going to watch how third plays out the rest of the way. And I think we'll watch JP at shortstop to see what that looks like, especially with the shoulder situation early on. And that's going to be it. I think they're better with Raley in right field. And so far, Randy's been pretty solid defensively, but we kind of know who he is defensively as well. So I think it's going to be kind of a mixed bag all season, but I think they can be solid during the course of the year as a group.
He's Mariners broadcaster Gary Hill. Thanks, Gary.
Thanks, Gary.
Yeah, anytime. Talk to you soon.
Alex Murr joins us next.
You can stream every pitch of every inning of every game all season long. Oh, and it's completely free.
It's a tremendous catch.
Only on the Seattle Sports app. That's right. The free Seattle Sports app puts every single Mariners game right in the palm of your hand.
On a platter, come and get it.
One app, every game. Plus the latest Mariners news, insider access, video, and podcasts.
Holy smokes, what a play!
Pretty awesome, right? Just like the Mariners.
Well, spring is all about getting ready for summer, isn't it? Hey, Brock Heward here. And working out in your own home, well, it is the best. We've been doing so for years. And you can allow Top Fitness to create your own home gym. And right now, get spring special financing with 0% interest for 12 months. Plus, mention me and receive an $150 credit towards any purchase over $1,000. Spring is here. So go get into Top Fitness with locations in Tukwila, Linwood, and Bellevue, or simply visit topfitness.com for more info.
Got a Tesla, EV, or hybrid that needs repairs or maintenance? Take it to the experts at A&M Auto Repair in Bellevue, the new dealer alternative for your EV or hybrid. Visit A&M Auto Repair at myevpros.com or call 425-96-EV-FIX.
Well, there's nothing I hate worse than being cold. And if your house is feeling a bit drafty or the floors of the main level are way too cold on your feet, that's probably because your crawl space and attic don't have enough insulation. It's probably making your furnace work overtime. So now you're spending more money as well. Well, how about a free and easy way to learn if you need better insulation? Just schedule a free corner-to-corner inspection of your crawl space and attic with Crawl Pros. It's exactly what I did. They'll show up to your house. They'll go where you don't want to, certainly where I didn't want to, and they'll tell you if you got any problems with your crawl space, your attic, and especially your insulation. If they do discover your home is under or improperly insulated, they'll show you all the utility rebates as well to help you get that work done correctly and affordably. If you're a PSE customer and your home was built before 1990, you could receive a rebate to cover up to 95% of the cost. Make your home more comfortable. Save on your energy bill with Crawl Pros. If you're worried that anything's going on in your crawl space or attic, critters, mold, water, plumbing issues, call Crawl Pros or go to crawlpros.com.
There's nothing better than having a big fish on your line. Make this the year you take that unforgettable fishing trip to Queen Charlotte Lodge. Time is running out for summer bookings. Experience a luxury resort and amazing fishing with your buddies, family, father, or son. King salmon runs, halibut, and lingcod are always plentiful. Book your stay at fishqcl.com and use code ESPN. Experience fishing first class. Experience fishqcl.com.
If you don't care about saving 50% off your wireless bill for the same 5G coverage the big guys are charging a fortune for, maybe you care about keeping jobs in America. Pure Talk does. They've pledged to run their entire operation from this country, including all their customer service. Or maybe you care about our nation's veterans. Pure Talk does. They've donated hundreds of thousands of dollars to America's Warrior Partnership, a fantastic organization working hard to prevent veteran suicide. Or maybe you care about closing America's skills gap. Pure Talk does. They're a proud supporter of MicroWorks. They're helping my foundation train the next generation of skilled workers. Don't get me wrong. Saving money's great, and you'll save plenty with Pure Talk. But if you want to be in business with people who share your values, dial pound 250. Say micro, and switch to an American wireless company that actually stands for something. Pure Talk.
On October 3rd, Snohomish PUD is hosting the first ever Community Energy Run at the Water Operations Center in Lake Stevens, located on the scenic Centennial Trail. It's a family-friendly 5K where every step supports the Community Energy Fund, helping local families keep the lights on when times get tough. Join the Community Energy Run on October 3rd. Learn more at snowpud.com LakeWashington.com/run.
Your windows and doors play a huge role in your home's efficiency and comfort. Choose Lake Washington Windows and Doors for windows that are up to 25% more energy efficient than Energy Star standards and reduce noise by up to 50%. Visit LakeWashingtonWindows.com today.
Back to the dugout on the home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports.
One of our absolute favorites, Alex Mayer, joining us right now in the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. Alex, I do not blame anyone for being upset with a slow start. I mean, they're tuning in to watch a baseball team they love, and so far they've seen kind of a cold offense. That being said, you have some stats for why there's no reason to panic after 11 games. I should have asked how you are, but also what are these numbers?
No, you said it, Stace, and I feel like you and Bump have done a really good job the last few days kind of preaching that while also not diminishing the games that have already happened, right? Because they matter. The fans have been waiting all offseason to see this really good team play, and I think they totally matter, but at the same time, like you said, we're so early in the season. It's 11 games in. I looked, and that's roughly 6.8% of the season underway, 11 over 162. And that's basically like being in the first quarter of the second game of a 17-game NFL season. So you could just look at it like that. I think, sure, we may have lost our first game by a field goal, we'll call it, since we're 4-7, but we're still in the first quarter of the second game. And I think that's important for fans to kind of materialize and think about it that way.
Yeah, I like that. 6-point-something% first quarter of the 17-game season. That really puts it in perspective, man, especially for our football heads out there. Tell me about.
There we go. That was for you, Bump.
I appreciate you, brother. Tell me about just this rotation. They've been really good. And I think, Alex, that's kind of what's been keeping me calm through this whole thing, too, is like, man, as long as the pitching continues to perform this way, all the offense needs to do is just get a little better, and they'll be okay. What are you seeing there?
Yeah, totally. I think we've seen it a little bit in these Marches and Aprils early on, last few years. But you said it. I mean, we rank 4th in the major leagues in ERA. The WHIP's under 1 as a team, so walks and hits per innings pitched, leads the American League, 2nd in the big leagues. And then the Mariners pitching staff also leads the big leagues in strikeout to walk ratio. They're walking fewer hitters than the rest of the 29 teams, and then 3rd fewest hits per 9 innings. So the peripherals are great. The mainstream stats are great with the pitching. It's just it hasn't been there. We haven't seen a game really where the hitting and the pitching has completely come together. But to our earlier point, 11 out of 162. I like what they have in store for the next 151.
Alex, one of the things that you are incredible with is finding really abstract stats and just being able to dig into history and connect. And it's like our favorite thing that you do, but also you just like love baseball, and you're great too. I sat in the press box next to you for a game and just asked some basic stuff where it's like, okay, what's this defensive metric? And was it like just general kind of like an in-depth understanding of how to measure the success of a team in a baseball season. So that's kind of the part I'm leaning into now rather than abstract fun stuff. But I asked Gary this question. I wanted to ask you the same. We were trying to figure out what things actually matter this early in a season that can be predictive and which things typically are not. So knowing the value and predictability of certain stats, are there things that you actually count like this early in a season, or are there numbers that you look to, when it comes to the baseball team you're watching and go, yeah, this does matter. It doesn't have to mean a lot, but like I do start to pay attention to this.
Yeah, totally. I think this early on, it's difficult to really like hang your hat on anything, but at the same time, I look at like peripherals, like WHIP is a good one. If you're limiting base runners as a pitching staff, I think that's a generally good thing, and we lead the big leagues in it. Somebody like Logan Gilbert, who might not have like the best ERA so far this year, I think it's somewhere in the 5s. He ranks in like the 84th percentile in walk rate. Like he's not walking guys. His expected ERA is much lower, which basically means he's not allowing hard contact. He's putting the ball where he wants to, just run into some bad luck, maybe some bloop hits and stuff like that. So his expected ERA is actually hovering around the 2.5 mark, even though his real ERA is about 5.5. So, and that's based on, allowing hard hits, not allowing hard hits, walk rate, strikeout rate. So I think he's right where he needs to be. Another thing I look at is all the neutralized stats. So ballpark adjusted stats like OPS plus, WRC plus, basically similar statistics where 100 is league average. So if you're 140, you're 40% better than league average. If you're at 60, you're 40% worse than league average. OPS plus is just the baseball reference version. WRC plus is the Fangraphs version. And I look at a guy like Brendan Donovan, whose OPS plus is 202, so literally 102% better than league average hitter so far. I'm excited for what he has in store. And then guys like Luke Raley and Randy Arozarena, they're hovering around 145, 150. So stats like that are what I look at, and I think the Mariners have a lot more positives than negatives right now.
Anything surprised you so far this season?
I don't know if anything surprised me. I think Emerson Hancock's first 2 starts have been just like beautiful to watch. I mean, he's got a sub-1 ERA through 2 starts. He's got the 14 Ks and only the 1 walk. So if he can emerge as a dude sort of thing, it'll be really exciting to see kind of the whole rotation kicking into full gear.
Unrelated to the Mariners, but as a Bears fan, what's your take on the Iceman drama? Does Caleb?
Oh goodness. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how involved I want to get in that stuff, but I will say George Gervin is definitely the original Iceman. You know, Spurs legend, basketball Hall of Famer. So we'll turn this into 3 sports, I guess. But funny enough, he went to the Bulls late in his career, so he has that Chicago tie as well. I think the father of the finger roll deserves his place with the nickname stuff. So
well said.
That's all. I'll leave it there. Yeah.
Father of the finger roll. See, it was crazy, man, because Caleb had no idea who he was, too. At least that's what he said.
Yeah.
I'm like, your dad had to have told you something, man. Like, come on.
I'll probably leave that alone for the sake of my pops, who's actually celebrating his 60th birthday today. So shout out Larry.
Happy birthday.
Yeah. Perfect.
Hey, is there something the obvious, right? We want to see the basket going, but is there something that you want to see from this squad before they return home?
I'm not sure. I think, like we just talked about, they're doing a lot of things well. They're doing a lot of things right. I guess the go-to answer here would be putting it all together for a game, for a string of games. But I think despite the 4-7 record, we've seen a lot of positives from the offense, the pitching, and the defense. So I'm just looking forward to it all coming together. And I'm still really excited for the season. I'm not any less excited on April 7th than I was on March 26th.
Are there some opportunities here for someone like Naylor to find a home run based on some of the pitching matchups or just kind of this club's success in Arlington?
Yeah, that would be awesome. I think Nails is getting his timing down for sure. Cal actually said it post game, like, look, I'm going to start getting hits. Julio's going to start getting hits. Nails is going to start getting hits. These guys are just too proven and too great of players to stay down for this long. And I think we always look at, like a 10-game sample at the beginning of the season, under a magnifying glass because it's not 10 games in the middle of May or 10 games in the middle of June. But, Major League pitching is really good. So you're going to run into 8 to 10 game stretches. It's just a little bit more magnified when you have a poor 8 to 10 game stretch at the beginning.
Yeah, it turns out it's hard to hit a baseball. People don't realize that. They don't realize it. It's very difficult. Before we let you go, just for fun, we usually like doing this for, before a game. Do you want to predict who might hit a home run today? It's always fun, like a call your shot.
Goodness.
No one remembers when you're wrong.
Yeah, that's true. Let's go Julio tonight.
I like it. See, if you're right, then you get you get a brag on Tuesday
there
when we talk to you next.
I'll expect a tweet when I'm right.
That's exactly right. He is Alex Mayer. Thanks, Alex.
Thanks, Alex.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
This has been The Dugout. Wyman and Bob coming up next.
There she goes. Goodbye, baseball. Number 1 for Cal Raleigh.
Despite Cal's first bomb of the season, the Mariners dropped their 3rd straight in last night's opener in Arlington. With George Kirby on the mound tonight, can the M's pick up a much-needed win?
You gotta be able to do the little things right. You gotta grind out at bats.
Mariners and Rangers Game 2, 5:05 first pitch, pregame at 4. Listen live anywhere for free on the Seattle Sports app. One app, every Mariners game.
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit, Accurate Auto Body.
If you've been in an auto accident, you have the right to take your vehicle to any repair facility. Accurate Auto Body has been family owned and operated since 1994, and they work for you, not your insurance company. Your insurance company may not love them, but you will, because
we meet
Do you need a new roof? Then trust your neighbors at 3 Tree Roofing to get you taken care of this spring. Schedule your free estimate at 3treeroofing.com and secure $500 off your roof replacement. Right now, you can still take advantage of spring pricing and beat the summer rush. 3 Tree Roofing, your Puget Sound roofing experts.
Hey, it's Bob Staton here, and I've trained Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for a very long time, so I know injuries happen. But when Emma tore her ACL on the mat, it was bad.
I typically have a pretty high pain tolerance. I gave birth 6 times with no pain meds at all, but this felt like a 10 or 20, really.
She was evaluated by an orthopedic surgeon.
He also told me that surgery was the only thing that I could do.
Instead, she came to see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine for stem cell therapy, the most experienced in the Northwest with over 20,000 stem cell procedures.
I can do everything normally. I train, I spar.
Pain level at a 0?
Yes.
So you recommend it?
Yes, actually, I asked him if it was okay for me to take copies of his pamphlet, so as soon as somebody gets injured, I can just hand them a copy.
So whether it's a hip like I had or a shoulder, elbow, ankle, wrist, knee, whatever it is, before choosing surgery, see Dr. Mark Wagner first. Go to drmarkwagnermd.com. That's drmarkwagnermd.com.
Hi, Chuck here at Frank Lumber the Door Store. One of our most popular services is our matchup service, where we use your old door as a template to create a new door in your existing frame. Whether you need an interior or exterior door, this is a great way to change out your doors DIY style. And as long as we have what you need in stock, we currently have available space without a long wait for our same-day matchup service. Please visit us in Shoreline, where there's plenty of good parking. Also, check us out online at franklumber.com.
Digging in my yard, trying to lay a pipe. I hit a water line and now I have to pay a big fine. I should have called 811.
Meet the company electrifying the marine industry. ARC, a fully electric boat that feels like a luxury EV. Significantly less maintenance and service, ARC is built to be as easy to operate as it is to maintain. Featuring heated seats and seat backs, a large display, easy handling, and impressive kick. You have to see it and experience ARC for yourself. Book a demo. They'll pick you up on Lake Washington, Lake Union, or Lake Sammamish if you can't come to them in Kirkland. Go to arcboats.com/demo. ARC. You have to see it to believe it.
Collectors, Front Row Car Show is returning to Tacoma. Join us at the Greater Tacoma Convention Center on April 11th and 12th.
480 tables. Baseball, football, basketball, and hockey cards.
Plus collectibles such as